nice way, y'all. We don't give a shit.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Shit, it was me the whole time. I had you over there pissed off. Well, there we go.
I was rocking and rolling trying to figure it out.
He's ready to throw his fucking computer out the window.
I love it.
Okay, let's start this again.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. Did you guys hear the start of all that? Okay. Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football with Jason and the Coach. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. He's the coach, Philip Roybal. And if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss a moment of Hall of Fame college football. Coach, how are we doing today? Welcome back in.
Doing great, Jason. Good to see you, man.
Hey, man, it's good to be seen. Good to be seen. Holiday week, lots to be thankful for, man. We've had a good year. You know, we've had a good year. So
it's been a good year. You know, that gum, Jason. We've picked up a lot of new people on here, and we've had a hell of a lot of fun. And you know, like you said, this is it's one of our blessings. And I love doing this. I love visiting with you, although you don't know football.
Right, I know. That's what I hear.
That's an asinine statement, by the way. But anyway, welcome everybody. It's good to be back.
Yeah, I'm over here saying, yeah, we're working on Coach's time will be right in there, and I had it all screwy. So yeah, no good. That was a pretty good joke that you put in there, Ryman Lemon. Welcome into the show, sir. Stephen G. Adela, good to see you. Adela's back. Benji. Who else we got in here? Of course, we got the Bishop Frank. Thank you for coming in, sir. Who else? Hey, man, we got plenty to talk about. If you're not already here, I don't know why. Make sure you wipe your feet. Miguel, welcome into the show, sir. Who else we got? All right, looks like that's it for now. We'll say hello as you get here. Thanks for coming in, everybody. A lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk, obviously, a little bit about, hadn't got to hear Coach's take on the Oklahoma big win over Alabama this weekend. Obviously, it's huge for OU, I think, in a lot of ways. I want to talk to him a little bit about that. We'll also get into this SEC playoff picture that's starting to not look very good for the SEC, and it looks like it's because of all the carnage going on, like this past weekend when OU knocks off Alabama. Florida takes out Ole Miss a week after they kind of laid the wood to Georgia. You know, so it appears that you're probably going to get 3 unless Texas A&M wins, because it looks, I would say Texas is a lock at at 10-1 at the moment. Notre Dame's also a lock, it appears, at 99% projected. Most places that I've seen, it's almost doesn't even matter what happens this weekend, although it will for the seeding. We'll get into that. Texas, their path to the playoffs, we'll get into a little bit of that kind of stuff. Benji, you're probably not going to love that, but I don't care. And then we'll talk a little bit about Mac Brown. It was announcing last week he was coming back to Carolina. It sounds like Carolina told him, nah, why don't you go ahead and go on home? Who might be the replacement for Mac? We'll talk a little bit. I think myself, and this one you should like, actually, Benji, because I actually feel like Mac's one of my favorite college football characters of all time since I've been a reporter and covering the sport. He was always first class guy to me, Texas or not. He of course did work as an offensive coordinator at Oklahoma for a good amount of time, so got love for him on that end of it as well. Then we'll get into the Heisman race, which just, to me, honestly doesn't really look like a race anymore. I think it's Travis Hunter and that's just about it. But we'll get into talking about that. Should Ashton Jeanty be the Heisman Trophy winner? We'll get all into that. Welcome into the show, everybody, though. Thanks for everybody coming in. Yeah, you're definitely going to be back in the CFP there, and I do care about it, so it sucks. Trojan fight. Oh, looky there. I really, really hope now that you guys got bowl eligible as well that Lincoln doesn't wuss out and plays in the Vegas Bowl against Oklahoma. That would be really cool. That would be really cool.
That'd be friggin' awesome.
I tell you, it would probably do as much numbers as the early rounds of the CFP.
Oh yeah.
So Lisa Rawls, welcome into the show. Good to see you. Gridiron Insight. What's up, my guy? Marcus Dent is in here. Let's see. My team, Alabama, won't win the Iron Bowl, so no need for other fan bases to worry that they may sneak in at 9-3. Bama will be 8-4. Yeah, Lisa, I don't know about that. It's a home game. My guess is they're going to win that one. Now they do struggle. Yeah. They do seem to struggle at, over in Auburn, but Auburn sucks. Come on. I don't buy it, but I get what you're saying. And I understand that you're upset still about all that. Let's see. Travis Hunter, Gridiron. Hey, there's our guy, Marcus Dent from the Gridiron Insight. Man, you guys are not watching his show. You're missing out. It's awesome stuff. Hey, if you want to hop in with us, Marcus, you're welcome to. I can send you a link. Just let me know.
Come on, Marcus.
Yeah, man, he's fun, man. We were having fun times. It's a Monday morning talk. He got in the middle of old Sooner Cowboys though. It was pretty good. It made me laugh. Drewski, what's up, my guy? Who else we got? All right, Coach, talk to me about what you saw in that game on Saturday night. I know you were watching Notre Dame for the better part of that because they were playing Army. They dispatched of Army just as we expected that they would.
Absolutely. But I did go. I got to tell you,
Notre Dame. We're definitely going to get into Notre Dame in a second. But I want to get your.
And that's good. I tell you what, my grandson and I actually both went back and watched the game in its entirety. My grandson wanted to watch it. He's a big football buff, and he said, "Papa, let's watch Oklahoma and Alabama. We got to watch it." And he was right. We did, and I tell you what, it was just a good old fashioned ass whipping. Oklahoma really, really played well, and it's sad to me that it took that long for them to be able to play that well. Because I told you early on in the season, and everybody in here, I really thought that we would see Oklahoma in the playoff. Obviously, things happened and we didn't. But yeah. I was really impressed by the way they played. And that's the mark of, number one, a good football coach, a good head football coach. And number two, it speaks highly to your players because at this time of the season and the way things have kind of gone for you guys, they could just lay down and go belly up.
Give up.
It was an easy thing to do. And obviously y'all didn't take, Coach Venables and his team didn't take the easy way out. They stood in there and fought, and by the way, they fought very well. And they just handed Alabama a good old fashioned ass whipping, and it also speaks to their coaching, guys. I know we've had people in here talking about, do we need to keep Venables? Do they need to fire Venables? Well, guys, I think your answer was right there in front of you on Saturday.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that definitely, there's been a lot of that talk going around. I think that of late, you pretty much realized that they were at least going to give him another year. This may have bought him. I mean, this certainly buys him that year, but I would say that it may even bought him a little more time. What I think to me, and the question I was going to ask you, what you thought about this, was that I think that when you go back and look at it, and they lost another receiver Saturday, in Brennan Thompson, who was their, number 6 guy probably. So their top 6 guys out. Doesn't look like they're going to get Jalil Farouk back or Deion Burks either this weekend. But you got to go on the road to LSU. LSU's kind of trending, not kind of trending. They're freaking in free fall mode right now the other way. They've lost their last 2 games. It doesn't look good, and losing.
Well, I don't. Have you seen the video of the chant in the stadium? Fire Kelly.
I have.
Yeah.
And I would say that the way that Oklahoma came out, and this is the thing, and I was actually telling Lisa this earlier today on Twitter, was you have a situation where this is a coach that you give him 2 weeks to prepare for a guy, to prepare for something. It's going to be tough. He's going to make it hard as hell on your offense. We talked about this last week, that if you're gonna, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I predicted it, because I didn't. I would tell you that I went the other way, and I did feel like there was a possibility they could keep it close. I didn't really think that they would win it, and to be honest with you, because
and not the way they want it.
Yeah, look, it's just kind of it's easy. It's easy for kids to kind of get going that other direction. You've coached them for a long time. You know how that works. And to me, that if you notice that, when they would make a play on defense, that they were pointing at Coach V. And by the way, we found out last week also that his wife had gotten the cancer back, and so they're dealing with that as well, and the surgeries just happened and everything. So, right. There's a lot of things that have kind of conspired for this season. They've never laid down. They've had opportunities to win every game, except for probably the South Carolina game that was thrown away so quickly that you were probably, just too far out of it. But then again, not necessarily, except for the fact that your offense just wasn't working, right?
Right.
The offense, the way that they put the offense out there, and this is something that Marcus said in here yesterday morning. This is not a system. It wasn't the same thing that they've been running all year. You saw some different looks. They went under center even. That it looked to me like Kevin Johns had his fingerprints all over that. Because that's not something we've seen from the Levy system. That's not something we've seen out of Seth Luttrell. It's certainly not something we've seen out of JJ or Joe John. So to me, it felt like, that had Kevin John's prints all over it. But something that Marcus said was that, look, these guys have had the last 4 weeks to get this team, to work with this team, to actually try to develop something and develop some kind of cohesion on that offense, as broken down as it's been. Well, for the Bill Bedenbaugh haters that are out there, this is the wrong place for you, because that guy has turned it around. Spencer Brown a month ago couldn't get on the field. Now all of a sudden he's moving furniture against Alabama. You didn't want him on the field against teams like Temple, Houston.
Well, and Jason, and that's, talking about Bedenbaugh, that's where, I get irritated as hell when people start beaten down coaches that have a successful history. I mean, and shit goes bad sometimes, guys. It doesn't, you can coach the hell out of them. I've been there, and I'm not saying I'm a great coach by any means, but I've had success, and sometimes you can coach the hell out of them, and there, there's a lot that goes into putting together a successful offensive line, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much. And I've sat here and listened to people beat up on Beaton Bow, and I've gotten to the point where sometimes I don't say a whole lot about those things. I just let it kind of stew inside of me. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this: fuck all you stupid motherfuckers that think Bill Beatonbow is the problem. So
I wasn't
I'll leave it
expecting
at
that.
that.
Okay, well, I
I'll leave
wasn't
it at that.
expecting that one, but well played, well said. That's pretty much what without the F word, that's pretty much what Marcus said yesterday. He's like, don't be stupid. So yeah, it was what it was. That was funny. Look, I mean, yes. Well, you think about it, you've got the left side of that offensive line is anchored by redshirt freshmen, two of them. You've got Logan Howland, who a month ago, hey, Gabe Eichert said a month ago on his show that they can't play him if he doesn't fix his issue with taking his first step backwards as a left tackle. You can't play him from that. That's a technique that you can't allow. Bill Beatonbow pushed him, and he's been really good ever since. They've been grading out. Heath Ozida was a guy that looked like he wasn't ready when they were playing him during the Tennessee game and after that. The last 3 or 4 games, these guys have done very well on that side of the ball. And then, hey, they ran the football. 50-plus rushes, Coach. This was your kind of football game.
And I got to tell you, Jason, I was excited watching that. And really, my grandson didn't like all my comments about, because we're in the day and age of every ball's got to be up in the air. And boy, I was pumped up about running the football, and actually, I have to tell you, looked like OU of old, and the Sooner football teams that would just mash you right in the damn mouth, and you couldn't do anything about it, and that's kind of what I saw on Saturday out of the Sooners.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, Jackson Arnold ran the ball 28 times. He big, and he struggled throwing the football. We know that I think he's been hearing ghosts, but the way that they played the quarterback running game this week, that's what I said. It felt like it was a lot different. And then you get a guy, Xavier Robinson. I mean, good grief, what might have been had he played early in the season, because this is a freshman kid that is a load to get down. He's got speed. He runs with power. He loves the contact. It was great, but in the end, I really believe that, yeah, you had 250 yards with 2 100-yard rushers, as Lemon says here. I mean, big time stuff. Honestly, though, this was all about that defense. This was all about Brent Venables and what he does.
Absolutely. But what the defense has pretty much been there the whole year. It's just that offensively, y'all have been struggling. And again, it's and the other thing, the other thing that I get tired of too is all these people that bitch and moan and complain. Well, our quarterback isn't throwing for 300 yards a game. The last time I checked, guys, it don't make a damn if you gain 300 yards rushing or 300 yards passing. You're moving the damn football. Okay. Mm-hmm. So your quarterback Arnold definitely became a running back on Saturday. He was the third running back. And guys, again, you want your cake and you want to eat it too.
Sure.
But damn it, you don't have to have a damn prolific passer back there to win ball games. You need a guy that can run the offense and literally run. If he can run the football and throw it a little bit, great. If he can throw it a lot and run a little bit, great. It doesn't make a damn as long as you're moving the football. And so back to that deal too. Who gives a shit how you're gaining the yards?
Well, here's the thing, and I think that it's pretty clear, and right now it's an important conversation to have because this is your first year in the SEC. You haven't been able to. Now, I think you need to be able to play complementary football on your offensive side too. I think you got to have balance, right? You got to be balanced.
Sure.
I would have called that balance the other night, and I think that works for a one game type. I mean, if they're not expecting that works, right? You're going to have to be able to put the ball in the air to continue doing that and not get 9 guys in the box moving forward. But I do think, but I think that they did a lot of things the other night. They threw some timely passes. They did some things that kept Bama on their toes a little bit, right? That 3-man front, I don't really know what Womack was doing with that one. And I like Kane Womack a lot as a defensive guy, but you're going to run a 3-man front whenever they're gashing you that way. We're going to keep coming. I mean, I would.
I got to tell you, I'm not a proponent of the 3-man front. I wouldn't run that some bitch if that was the last thing I could run on defense. I don't see the advantages to it, run or pass. But that's just me.
Well, and with the 3-3-5, I think you talked about it. It's something the 3-3-5 you kind of use that for the spread offenses, things like that. But you can use it in some ways that it looks like.
But I'm still not. I'm still going to do that out of a 4-2-5. I'm not going to show you a 3-man front because you can attack me. I tell you what, I'd run right up your ass if you get in a 3-man front against me.
Coming. Yeah, it's coming all day. Yeah, that's how you shit. That's what coach wanted to do anyway. We don't want to put the damn ball in the air. First guy to throw is I remember those days. That was, hey, look, I was happy to see it. I was just, but again, you start looking at this defense and I got to say, well, Danny Stutzman, first off, and that was what I think a lot of people weren't and aren't. We didn't take this into consideration so much for this being the final game at the Palace of the year, right? You're up against Alabama, and Bama's look, talent wise, they got more talent on that roster than anybody in the country. We know that. I don't know that I'm ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater on Kalen DeBoer yet. I don't know that he's the right guy for the job either, but we'll see, right? But I will say this: they've had some big wins. But this defense did what you had to do with a guy like Jalen Milroe. He's not a guy that's going to hit the precision passing from 12 to 25 yards, which is what a defense like Brent Venables is going to make you do. I said it earlier in the week. I said it all week. They cannot let him beat them with his legs. Early on, you cannot. If he does that, he will kill you with his arm because then you're going to have to put 8-9 guys in the box. 7 guys, whatever, 8. You're going to have to overload the box. And then Ryan Williams is going to eat your lunch. And by the way, holy shit, Ryan Williams. That dude is something. But Eli Bowen, he's a sticky little dude, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
A sticky little dude. So, love seeing that. And Danny Stutzman laid the wood to him on the very first play. And he didn't really want to run it that much after that. You saw him going down whenever the guys were coming to tackle him.
Nope.
That was as big as anything to me. But I think a lot of that goes down to, listen, there's a pride thing that goes on whenever you're Oklahoma and you're at home. Nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. Yeah,
I agree.
Big time stuff. I love it. Let me ask you this. If they had found something early on, if they found what they found now, do you still see this team as good enough that they could have been in the playoff this season? If they can turn it around next year, do you see them as a contender for the playoff?
What I think, I don't think you can take a one picture snapshot of anything and project to your next season. I think you take the whole body of work to project, but what it did do was it showed what the ceiling was, and maybe not even the ceiling. It can be better than that, but but after that ball game that OU football can again be great. And I think that's what you got to look at. I think you got to look at how you finish the season. You got to look at, how does recruiting go? And again, do you keep your quarterbacks? I know the question was asked in here a little bit ago. Does that change the perspective on the quarterbacks staying or going?
I just asked that question as well. I would tell you that I think Hawkins stays. I still think JA goes. I think unless Mullen ended up getting the job, Dan Mullen, and there's been some talk that he may still be involved in this, even though you've heard that he has no interest. There's been some talk that he might. I think that he might be able to talk Jackson into staying and his team. His parents, his agent, whatever.
Yeah, there's lots of variables moving forward here.
But I'll be honest with you. I think the other guys that they're looking at that you hear, it could be somebody we have no clue about. I mean, I'll just put it out there for that way too. We may not even
exactly
know. But the thought is that they're probably going, if they end up with Arbuckle from Washington State, he's got, Mateer has been very good this year. He's got, a little dog in him too. He looks like a really good player. I don't know what I think about that because they've been playing in the Mountain West. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? It's just, and they lost at New Mexico, by the way. So now it wasn't the offense's fault. And we do know that Bronco's a pretty good coach. But I would just say that, I don't know what I think about that. I like Craddock from Tulane. He would probably be bringing Darian Mensah with him. But if this Mac Brown thing turns into to the head coach ending up over there, maybe not. You know what I mean? Maybe he ends up at Carolina. I don't know. I would think that you would probably want to go to OU instead, but that's just me. It is what it is. In the end, we'll have to wait and see with that. I think that my thing is, I think that there's probably you should have been worse this year with everything that happened. With all the infighting in the locker room, on the offensive side, all the injuries, your playmakers.
Y'all had a lot happen, Jason. Y'all had a lot of things happened.
And they were in every game, Coach. I mean, they were in every game, at least for a while. Now, obviously, Texas ended up pulling away. When you can't get anything going on the board, it can snowball. But they were in every game. The defense definitely is good enough to where if it stays on the trajectory that it's been on since he got here, they should be in good shape. Now they again are playing a tough schedule, unlike Texas. But no,
I'm gonna tell you guys, and I've said this before when it seemed like the walls were all crumbling. And I said it then, and I'm going to say it again today. OU football is not going anywhere. OU football, whatever changes need to be made, that program will be back. They will be strong, and they will be one of the powers in the SEC. And again, here, guys, I have no dog in this fight. As I always say, I don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to tell you is, I have no dog in this fight, and I still say that OU, and not because Jason's my friend either. That has nothing to do with it, because I've talked a lot more shit to Jason about OU than y'all could ever even imagine. But I'm just telling you from a coach's perspective that is a strong program. It has been a strong program, and there's a dip. And you know what, guys? Every program in the country has been through hard times and difficult times. You know, you go back and you look at the Alabamas and the Georgias and all those people, the Oregons right now. You know, guys, those people weren't always winning. I mean, they've had hard times too. And you know what? We all go through those hard times. But you know what? The programs that are have had great teams, they're going to continue to find a way to be successful. And it moves all the way into administration, to the coaching, to the recruiting and the players. It's, you know, there's a lot of variables that, you know, as fans, we talk a lot of shit about what's happening in the moment. But we tend to forget about all the other variables concerned with creating a great program. And those things are already in place at the University of Oklahoma, and they're going to continue to improve. And again, I'm saying we can't take the one snippet, the one shot of Saturday's game and say they're going to be great next year. But I'm going to tell you something. We know that it's there, and I tell you what, I believe in Brent Venables. I love Brent Venables, and I truly believe that the OU program is headed back in the right direction. And again, it's been talked about. The OC hire is a huge hire. But again, let me ask some of you guys on here now. You know, wow, we had a great offensive showing on Saturday. So do you hire the guy that's the OC right now? Do you hire him? I already know the answer to that. I already know the answer to that. The answer is no.
It's not up to us anyway, but right. I would think that I don't think that the powers that be would not allow such a thing, right? I don't think that they fully they don't absolve Joe John of what happened as the coordinator, I think is what that is.
But my point there is to all the fans, don't just take that snippet of that one game, because that's not going to tell you the whole story. And you know, if you did just take that one snippet of the game, then hell, hire him. He's, you know, look what he did. He beat the hell out of Alabama offensively. But you got to look at the whole, and so. But I still see OU being good.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I think the question would be, because again, I think I saw an offense that we haven't seen this past weekend. I've watched the game a few times. I don't think that came from. I don't just think that came from Joe John. Let's put it that way. I don't think it came from Joe John.
No.
Right. Getting under center and doing some things like that. And you know, it just didn't look like that. It just didn't look like that. So
now, Jason, remind me again, who were the guys that you mentioned that they were looking at as OCs?
Well, you've got the first person that I think Coach Venables wants is Dan Mullen. There's been some talk about that.
Okay. That'd be a good one.
And like Marcus is saying here, if Dan doesn't get the UNC job, I think you know, that's probably a really good paying job as far as that goes. And you know, Carolina's a huge brand. Now they're not great at football, but he would be. That's a good coach. I mean, that would be a good job for him too. I don't know that that's who they're going with. You know, like we were said, there's some guys that are already there's some. You know, I would say guys like G.J. Kinney and stuff like that are going to be open for that. But the guys that we've heard are in the running for this. The first choice would be Mullen. It doesn't sound like he's really that interested, right?
Okay.
But I've heard that maybe he is. We'll see.
Sure.
I haven't heard anything about Will Stein. I haven't heard anything about Kotelnicki from Penn State. In fact, what we've heard is come from sources, and they're saying that they really haven't engaged in the conversation.
Okay.
So it doesn't look like they're in either. The big one right now is looking like Ben Arbuckle, Washington State. He's young, 29 years old.
Hey, you know what? Arbuckle is from Wichita Falls, Texas, and his dad refereed a lot of my ball games.
Okay.
And so I know him really well. Really like Arbuckle. I think he would do a tremendous job. But
he's doing a good job. And apparently he blew Venables away in whatever informal interview, or maybe it was formal. I don't know.
Right.
Where he asked him the question, because the question that I have is, he's young. He's only done this in the Mountain West. He was 4 years ago. He was still a high school coach. Now he played quarterback, so, I mean, apparently he's done a good job. And I actually watched them. I like their offense. But I think that you need to flip his 60-40 pass to run ratio to the other way around, or at least 50-50.
And I think he would. I really do. I don't think there's any doubt that he would be open to doing that. And I'm going to tell you, he would be a good fit.
He worked for Zach Kitley at Tech. That makes me,
Yeah, I hear you.
But
I'm telling you, I think he'd be good fit.
I think it was somewhere else, but he worked with Zach Kitley, so.
Right.
Mucho facto, whatever.
I like him. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a great hire for you guys.
Yeah, it might be. Then you also have Joe Craddock, who's at Tulane. That's
another good one.
I think he's a good one too. I've said from the start, I think that you should go in. And GJ Kinney just re-upped with Texas State for 7 years at $2 million. I think you go offer him $4 million and make him say no.
Right.
That's just me. But I like his offensive coordinator, who's also a quarterback coach, Mac Leftwich. So I think Kinney is an up and comer, though. You may not keep him forever, but I think you'd probably get them both. The one I wanted the most was Will Stein. You end up probably getting Rashad Samples with him. It would behoove you to pay him whatever you got to pay him to get them both, right? I don't think it hurts you any. But in the end, we'll see. We'll see how this all goes. I tend to believe that whoever they end up with, it's going to be okay. It's a matter of, the mistakes you made. And he was talking about it in his press conference today, that he owned up to the mistake of hiring Seth and keeping him as long as he did. Now, I'm not positive that, I've been telling you, accountability is a big thing for Coach V. We know that. I don't know that I don't know it's really all on him, but because we're hearing that it's not the case. But at least he's not like certain coaches we know that just, Brian Kelly, Lincoln Riley, that it's never their fault. It's always somebody else's shit.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I like that part. But Arbuckle is growing on me a bit. I like watching his teams. They play pretty well. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I like Mateer looks really good, Jesse. He looks really good.
I like what Jesse was saying there. Came from the oil and gas industry.
Yeah.
I tell you what that tells you about him too, though. I tell you what it tells you about him. He's a hard-nosed son of a gun.
Mm-hmm. We know what them roughnecks are like. You know, round them all the time. Yep.
Yeah.
Throw a joke name out there, but there are some who would get all in their feels don't do it. Don't do it. It's one game. They're a top 5 team right now. At least Rosenweir are back on track to get a rematch in Atlanta. Yeah. Y'all gonna get beat this weekend. Let's talk about that next. All right, we've got a couple of locks for the CFP. Now, I don't think some people would, and I'm gonna bust your balls here a little bit, Coach. Some people would say that they both got in because they played a shitty ass schedule.
Sure.
What?
Here's the thing about shitty ass schedules. I busted OU's balls last year.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Still got to win the game.
About shitty ass schedules. And here's the thing, guys. Number one, your coaches have about this much to do with scheduling. Okay, they obviously have input, but those schedules are made years in advance, so you don't know. I mean, us going into this season as Notre Dame, we thought Florida State was going to be a tough team to play. We figured they were going to be in the top 10 in the country. You had the people we're playing this week, the Trojans, also known as the Rubbers. We thought they were going to be good. Obviously,
not I, but okay.
exactly. The common folk believed, and even those that were, doing the polls thought they were going to be good football teams. And I tell you what, I had no reason to believe that they wouldn't be good football teams. But at the end of the day, going back to scheduling, you really don't have a lot of control over that. And I know the argument is the SEC. We're the best and so forth. And I'm not disagreeing with that. But what I will tell you, look at a Texas team versus the Oklahoma team. Those two schedules are completely, opposite of each other. OU's had to play their ass off. Yeah. Texas has had a cakewalk.
Yeah, OU got Ole Miss. They got Mississippi State. OU got Tennessee. They got Vandy.
Yeah. And that's my point there is that, that's kind of tough, guys. I was looking at wins versus bowl eligible teams. Oregon played 3 bowl eligible teams up to this point. Ohio State 3, Texas 2, Penn State 3, Indiana had 1.
And they're going to get in too, because that's another one that's going to get in anyway, because even if they were to lose this game, maybe if they lose this weekend, maybe not.
Tennessee 1. You had Miami 2.
Wait. Tennessee playing bowl games or wins over bowl games or bowl teams?
This is wins versus bowl eligible teams.
Okay.
So they bowl eligible.
They beat Bama. They beat us. That's 2 at least.
So that's what I had there. And I say this tongue in cheek. Notre Dame 5. Okay, bowl eligible teams. But again, we're talking bowl eligible. We're not talking the cream of the crop, just bowl eligible. Okay.
No, that's fair.
But again, when you speak from that perspective, you got to look at those kinds of things. And so I know people are saying Notre Dame doesn't deserve to be there. And you know what? Quite frankly, I don't give a shit if you think they should be there or not. Because right now they're setting in, and I don't know if have the rankings come out yet. What time does that happen tonight?
It should be out. They should be out by now. I don't know yet. Let's see.
And it'll be interesting where we sit there, because I'm going to tell you guys, after week 2, I didn't think we deserved to be in anything except maybe the toilet bowl. But I agree with you, Jason. There is some, you can sit back and say there's some teams that aren't deserving. Right. But you know this as well as I do. When you talk Notre Dame football, we're always never deserving. That's the common thread all the time.
Well, and I'll say this. Here's what first off, the Louisville win is big. And we know that Florida State sucked this year. We get it. But this is a team that coming in was supposedly, number 1 defense in the country and shit. You guys blasted them. Got all their coaches fired and shit. Now, to go in and look, right now, Texas A&M is still they have a shot to get in the playoff. They win at home this weekend against Texas, which Quinn Ewers has got a bum ankle. And I mean, not that, he's going to have to take his pregame Prozacs anyway, even if he does play.
Surprise, surprise. Quinn is hurt.
Yeah, look, Yeah, shocker, right? Would it surprise you if you saw them, get beat? No. Now they're going to get into either way, but that would add that fourth team. But look, we watched you guys go in there and run that game. First game of the year, you can call it what you want. And I think definitely they're a little different with Marcel Reed. He's got the ability to beat you with his legs. I mean, he's got lots of speed and he can throw it too. But they want to run the ball anyway. Defensively, I think that on the defensive line, they're better. A&M is. I know that everybody loves Texas's defense. This is one of those times where, because of the teams that you played that didn't really have very many good offenses, I'm not showing the same amount of love to Texas's defense. I do think it's better than I gave it credit for to start with, but I would still say that I like Elko as a defensive guy more than I like anybody in Austin. Right? Go ahead.
I know. I'm just saying.
Agree.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Right.
Yes, I do. I do. Well, and I tell you what, Trojan fight. Let me speak to this.
Oh,
you say asterisk when you haven't played a road game since early September.
Oh, why don't you whine Lincoln a little more there, Trojan fight? Go ahead, Coach. You say it.
Well, let me just tell you, Trojan fight. We're not going to be playing at home this Saturday, and we're still going to kick the fuck out of the team we play. So
yeah,
take it for what it's worth, brother.
Yeah, I've been saying that too. This is trouble for USC. This is the kind of game that they do not do well in, where you line up and run over their ass, and that's what they're going to do this weekend. I like Notre Dame to go win this game, and here's the reason why I think Notre Dame is a real contender for all of it. The defense is just as good as we saw it last year, maybe a little better.
Better.
That offensive line, despite some of the injuries that you had there, is still a monster. And they've got, you lost your running back from last year, but you got a couple of them now that they run hard, man.
I tell you what, guys, Jeremiah Love may be, when it's all said and done, he could be one of the best running backs that's ever come out of the University of Notre Dame. And that's what I was fixing to say. That's in big company. But he don't play. I think he touched the ball 15 times this last ball game. And he scored 3 touchdowns, had 100 and something yards, closing in on 200. But he's only carried the ball 121 times this year, and he's already got 100 or 850 yards with just 121 carries. And that's been some things the Notre Dame fan base has bitched about, is leave him in the game. Well, guys, what that does is it's going to pay off, because, like you said, Jason, he's not our only running back. We got Jadarian Price that is another back that is really, really good. He's got 540 yards on the season, and they rotate those guys in.
Dude runs hard.
And he runs hard.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we've got we're going to be fine with our running backs. But Jason, going back to your point, defensively, if you've watched us play, we are very physical defensively. And you see teams after we've played, and I can tell you that when we play the teams that we play on Saturday, if you'll go back and look at those teams and their losses after we've played them, a lot of that is because we've physically beat the hell out of them. Mm-hmm. And you watch our ball games, and guys, there's a lot of stoppage in our ball games for people laying on the field being hurt or injured. And so, yeah, I feel good about where we are right now. I haven't said, you guys know, I haven't said a whole lot about the Irish other than talking shit to Trojan Fight because he's clueless about football. But other than that, I haven't said a whole lot. I haven't said a whole lot about the Irish because, we had a very disappointing loss in week 2. But since then, all we've done is get better and better and better. And what we were talking about earlier, Jason, is, like Arnold, Leonard Riley, he's not going to set the world on fire throwing the ball.
Wait, hold up. He's been really good.
Well, he knock on wood, he hadn't thrown, he doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah. Let me get this off the screen real quick. Let me get this off the screen.
Go ahead.
You're driving me fucking nuts.
Go ahead.
From Benji, thank you for the super chat. Texas 10-1. Hashtag that other thing. SC beats Notre Dame by 10 in sunny LA. Yeah, okay. And he says, fight on. Throw the horns down.
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Appreciate the super chat. That's the only way that shit gets on the screen. Go ahead.
Hey, actually, Benji, you know what? I so hope and pray that we play the Longhorns in the bracket because I think that would be one of the easiest games in the bracket, to be quite frankly.
You would be correct if you said that. You would be correct. That's true. Yeah, listen, while we're talking about this, listen, what Denbrock has done, you said it last year. All they had to do was just had a dead body and get in the end zone in that game against Ohio State. They win. I think people are sleeping on Notre Dame. I think early in the year, Riley Leonard hadn't picked up the offense yet. He didn't have the confidence in his game to, he wanted to run. He wasn't really wanting to throw. Denbrock is kind of like what you saw him do at LSU the last couple of years with Jaden Daniels, turning him into a Heisman winner. Riley looks a lot better now, and they've been putting up points in bunches, and not just by running the ball. They are running the football with their running backs and with him a little bit, but he's, they're great with their tight ends. Their receivers are better than they have been. This is the most complete team I've seen at Notre Dame in a long time. It is what it is.
Well, and I tell you, Jason, we if you look at the statistics after ball games, he's completing balls to 7-8 different receivers every ball game. I know we don't have a stud receiver, but he is completing those balls. There was 3 passes. He threw 3 incompletions the last ball game, and one of those was he threw it away. Yeah. And the second one was a drop ball, and so there was 1 incomplete pass basically that he threw in the ball game. He's getting better.
Real quick, T Boomer, thank you for renewing your membership as well. I knew I forgot.
Good job, T Boomer.
On that, man. He's been doing it every month, man. We appreciate you. Real quick, while we're thinking about that, you can become a member of the Hall of Fame Mafia family at HOF. Well, you can do it right next to where you hit the like button, which if you hadn't already hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button, guys. We'd appreciate it.
Absolutely.
But become a member of our team. Even Benji's a member. So, we want to give him a little love here and there. And Benji, thank you for the super chat again. That's great. We appreciate you. But, you can become a member of the Hall of Fame Mafia family, become a voter in the polls. You can get into our Discord and talk all the trash you want, say whatever you want. Nobody's kicking you out of there for it. We appreciate everybody that does that. And as well, and then we're definitely going to have a lot more members only content coming up as the season is now winding down. You're going to see a lot more of that. It's as low as $2.99 a month. It definitely helps the program. We put in a lot of effort and time to this. It helps us out a lot. But hey, we enjoy having you guys in here in any time in any way. The easiest way, just hit the like button. You can also though jump in and get into our Hall of Fame pod merch store. I'm gonna go ahead and share this screen here. I've got it up somewhere. Here we go. And Lisa, you might want to close your eyes. The the Alabama state champion T-shirt. Oklahoma beating both Auburn and Alabama this year to commemorate that. We've got it in all colors and sizes. There's also some really good stuff. You've got the coaches I don't give a shit T-shirt. You've got Oklahoma against the world as well. That's one of my favorites. It always meant more at Oklahoma is another one of our favorites. And then, we've got a lot of horns down gear as well. Popping that stuff up. Now, these ones that have the actual upside down horns, they're only available this week. So if you're going to get them, you better get them now. We have some new designs with the logo here or part of the logo. Yeah, definitely. And then of course you've got my hat that I've got on right now as well. You've got a couple of the horns down hats, beanies. I think Adela got a beanie last year, but it's hoodie season, so you can make sure you can get a hoodie. The Sooner Magic one. We got Coach Ricks's, right off the left ass cheek. He was talking about
I like it
to run the ball. We like that one as well. So listen, a lot of cool stuff in there. This is the good time to. We've actually sold a few of those Alabama State Championship T-shirts today. So get in there and check it all out. If you want licensed gear for whoever you love, whether it's Notre Dame or Texas or Alabama, jump onto our Fanatics partner site. It's hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. You get the best deals by using our link. No two ways around it. You're going to get the best deals. Whatever the deal is, you'll get it better. It'll be a little better on our site. So that's what they do for their affiliates.
Hey Jason, can you drop the link in the chat?
Yep. Yes, sir. hofmedia.us/fanatics. Oops. There's that one. And then it's the same for the pod merch, except it's just pod-merch. hofmedia.us. All right, there you go. Hop in there.
Good job,
check it out, man. Yeah, good stuff. All right. What else we got? What do we got? Get ready for the biggest tailgate you've probably ever seen. Yeah, Oklahoma going to this weekend. Another one of your favorites, BK and LSU. Hopefully you get a second win, but Notre Dame now headed, again, what it looks like and what, we're just looking at that a little bit. The playoff right now, 1 through 4, Boise State is still a top 4 rated conference champion expected, right? I don't know what I think about that, but I do feel like, right now they only have, do they even have a Big 12 team in there? They do not. Yes, they do. Arizona State. So Arizona State, what were they ranked? I think that they're ranked just behind Alabama in the AP. What's the actual rankings, though? Let's see. It's 12. I guess they got them. I don't know. Tell me what you got. Did you guys watch that show or anything? So what is that? How did that work out? I don't know that you don't, unless Boise State's to lose their conference championship or something like that. It looks like they're going to get a bye. And I got to tell you, I don't love that. Because they played Oregon at the first of the year. They really haven't played anybody since. They play a Mountain West schedule. And it's one thing and they didn't beat Oregon. It was a close game, but they lost. I like Ashton Genty as much as the next guy. I think he's really good. But, breaking Barry Sanders' record there isn't the same. And plus he did it in 11 games, right? You think Notre Dame's out for certain with the loss? I'm going to say probably not, but actually they're a lock to go in at 99% according to about 5 different polls or metric systems that they're putting up there. You think an awful lot of your Trojans, though, there. Don't you, Trojan fight? No, they're not out. No, they're not out. They would probably go to the 12th seed. But otherwise, they're going to end up with the 5 seed, which was built for Notre Dame by Jack Swarbrick and, and the SEC. That was the decision that they made when they built this bracket. I think
you know what?
You go through and you were 11-1, coach. It's good enough.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, Jason, I kind of like that the 5 seed would be great, okay? But I kind of like the 7 seed too. And the reason I do is that would put us against Texas in the second round. I think I would really like that.
That's what they've got you in right now is the 7. So you'd be playing, you'd host SMU in the first. Now SMU's been a good football team. That's probably the tougher draw out of, I think, probably one of the tougher draws, really. And then you would get, you get Texas in the second round at a neutral field. I like your chances in that one. At the 5 seed, though, if you look at the 5 seed, if it stays the way it is,
wow.
I think if you win this game, you're probably the 5 seed. It just kind of depends on what happens moving forward. But oh man, I don't know. Maybe not though. Maybe it could be Ohio State, I guess. But I think if Ohio State ends up losing the conference championship game, they're not going to get it. Not the 5.
No, shouldn't.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see kind of what it looks like. But I think if you move up to the 5 seed, look at what you're looking at would be Boise State.
Yeah.
In the next round.
Yeah.
And then, if you get, that puts you in the semifinal more than likely. And then you end up with, at that point, you're going to have to deal with either, probably Georgia or Oregon, and even Tennessee is pretty damn good if that's the way it sticks. Yeah. But again, we're looking at this right now. You've got 3 SEC teams in there, and I can look at a bunch of Big Ten teams in there that I know isn't better than Alabama, isn't better than Ole Miss. No. Come on, let's be real. But
6 and 11, neither one of those are.
Yeah.
They're not legit.
Yeah, let me put it up. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why I just did not already do that. Yeah. Norman. All right. Yep, there it is. So Indiana, Penn State. I don't buy Penn State I don't really buy Penn State.
I don't buy them at all.
I don't buy Indiana either.
No.
They played one good team.
Yep.
One good team. The best team of the side from them would have been probably Nebraska. Now they did blow Nebraska out, but it was clear after the first quarter who was in charge of that game and that they weren't on that level.
Right.
They're not Ohio State good.
No.
Now, I like Kurt Signetti as much as the next guy. That you ain't got the team, guy. It's not what it is. So I don't love it. I think that's crazy. But you're going to end up with, and again, I would say the same thing about Texas. You better hope that you beat A&M because I don't know that for sure they put you. I think they put you in still. I think you're a lock at 99%, just like they're showing Notre Dame being. You're a lock at 99%. Everywhere I've seen, they're a 99% chance of getting into the playoff because they got one loss at this point. They're not. Where do you think
they would drop to?
Could be probably where Tennessee is.
Yeah.
Tennessee better beat Vandy.
Yeah.
And it's at Vandy. There's no guarantee there. Vandy's been pretty good. That's the other decent team that Texas has played. But I don't know, man. As far as wins are concerned. I don't know.
Penn State and Indiana, they don't have anybody left, do they?
I don't think so. No, yeah, they do. They got one game left, but I'm not sure. Let me check.
But I don't think they got anybody that's worth a shit.
No, I don't think so. Let's see. Memphis playing Tulane. Tulane's another one of those teams that could slip in.
Yeah.
The Big 12 is interesting, but they've kind of cannibalized themselves. And I think that's the same thing that you're seeing really in the SEC. There's a lot of teams that have played their good schedule. Tennessee's this is one of those games that feels like it's ripe for an upset with the Vanderbilt game. Vanderbilt's been game all year. Diego Pavia is a bad dude. Michigan, Ohio State, theoretically you could, but it is at the shoe. And Ohio State should be loads better.
Yeah. Yeah.
South Carolina, had they not had the officiating be so bad in that game against LSU, they win that one. Even though, and I'm not a Beamer guy, but they pretty much have like a 2% chance of getting in. It looks like Clemson supposedly may have a shot at getting in still if they win this weekend. I do expect Clemson to win. And I'm not sure why I expect Clemson to win, to be honest with you, but I do. Oregon State, can they beat Boise State? I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Ole Miss is still technically alive. I think they're showing about what I saw in the Athletic. I want to say, and it was the same on the Professors thing. I want to say it was like a 15% chance somewhere in that area that they could still get there if they win the Egg Bowl against Mississippi State. They should win that one. They should have beaten Florida too. So who knows? Miami's got to go on the road to Syracuse though. That could, I don't know what I think about Miami. They've got them in the top 4 because they're showing them as the conference champion. If you believe in Mario Cristobal, good for you. I don't know that I do. Arizona State at Arizona. Now, Arizona State is locked in right now to the Big 12 championship game. They lose this game at Arizona that still has Tedero McMillan, and they look good. You're not guaranteed anything, right?
Right.
Yeah, of course we do, Coach. Yeah, I would just say oops, I was supposed to be sharing. I'm still sharing that. My bad. But where was I? Okay. That's still a tough one. Let me send this to Coach Ricks real quick.
Okay.
But what are your thoughts about the bracket overall, Coach?
Oh, I struggle a little bit with Boise at 4.
Yeah.
Overall, I don't think it's that bad a bracket. I don't like Penn State, Indiana.
And I was under the impression you can't play an in-conference team in the first round. I guess I could be wrong, but I didn't think that was the case.
Yeah, this definitely shows it to be happening, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's wild. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're showing it with Tennessee also. So Tennessee and Georgia playing in the first round.
Tennessee and Georgia too. That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand why you would do. I don't know why you don't flip that around.
Well, and again,
it may not end up that way because of
we're definitely gonna we're definitely gonna see some changes here.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any doubt.
Now here's the question that you end up having: could they end up with 4 teams from the SEC in there?
They could.
I'm gonna say this: if Texas A&M wins and they go to the conference championship game, even with 3 losses, if you count that against them for being a conference champion, you're not setting a very good precedent. Number one, that's not a good precedent to set, in my opinion. Welcome to the show, Coach Ricks.
What's going on, fellas?
Coach Ricks, what's up, my brother?
Doing good, Coach. How you doing, bud?
Doing great.
Yeah. Just trying to find me a little part of my house that I can make mine for the next few days.
There you go, baby.
Oh yeah, you got a gang of folks in your house, huh?
I got 27. They start coming in tomorrow.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Those are the good times. Rock and roll, baby.
I got plenty of liquor ready.
There you go.
I knew he was going to say that. I love it.
I like it. Hey, just text me your address. I'll come on up.
Hey, I got plenty for you, man. Trust me. I got plenty for you.
This is speculation that you're saying this, but Aggie would have the head-to-head win over Texas, so they would go to Atlanta, but they need to beat UGA in order to make the CFP. I don't agree with you. You because they actually have some wins that are decent. I don't agree. Now, maybe, but to me, I think if you're setting a bad precedent, and what I'm going to tell you is this: if you leave an SEC finalist out of the college football playoff,
go crazy.
They're going to lose their shit, and they're going to take them, and the Big Ten are going to break away and do their own shit.
Yeah,
that's coming. You want to speed it up? Pull that bullshit. Because guess who owns all this stuff? ESPN and Fox.
Yeah.
They are not going to have this stuff. They will kick hey, first of all, I think they're going to go to 14 teams or whatever, 16 teams coming soon anyway. But I'm going to tell you this. The conference championship game, you better have both of the SEC teams in there, especially when they have beat the crap out of each other. Should you win certain games? Yeah, probably. But how many quarterbacks in the SEC are better than DJ Lagway? Not many.
One. Tennessee. It's quarterback, I think.
I don't know that he's better than DJ Lagway. I don't know about that.
I think I will.
Neilio
got more talent.
With the super chat. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Jason and Coach. He says bull nuts for old Coach.
Hey, you know what? I wish I'd have got me some bull nuts for Thanksgiving. Woo! That'd have been some good shit.
And here we go. Yeah. Look, I would say you got to be careful with that. And I don't know that they're going to be unhappy either way if you just give them 3. But you pretty much have locked Texas into it, even though they did play the training wheel schedule. They're locked in at 99% everywhere I'm seeing because they only have one loss coming into this. Even if they lose that game, they're still going to the CFP, no matter what. When it comes to Texas A&M, yes, they got that loss to Auburn. That's their own fault. They got that loss to Auburn. I will say that. But it's a tough place to play there. We know that. We hear it all the time. It's all we've heard from the SEC folks for a year is that going to Jordan Hare is no picnic.
Yeah.
You know, it took the end of the game for Oklahoma to win there. But
we still got our 10 on it, Jason.
We still got our 10 on what?
We still got our 10 on that Alabama game.
On Alabama, and you're picking Auburn?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That sucker up, baby. Double it up if you want to.
Training wheels felt. Hey man, look. After what I saw on that field, man, the way that they left off that field, it's gonna be hard for them to.
Like a half freaking SEC member though, Benji. Not really an SEC member. You haven't played an SEC juggernaut except for one, and they beat the hell out of you in your own house.
If I was Texas, man, I wouldn't really be. I'd be thankful that I didn't have the schedule that Oklahoma had, because they might be worse than Oklahoma. They might have a worse record than Oklahoma have.
Yeah, they worked their way into that shit. That was bought and paid for. You can bet your ass.
Have you guys discussed the Dabo situation?
You knew 6 SEC wins were cupcakes. You knew. That's what we're talking about. You knew.
Gotcha.
No, I was talking to Benji. Sorry. Dabo, what? What about Dabo?
He has finally agreed to NIL.
Oh, looky there. Imagine that.
Finally agreed. It was on ESPN breaking news that he finally agreed to.
It was breaking news.
NIL.
God damn.
Oh yeah, down here it was. Oh man, look, there was a secret meeting, and once they fired Matt Brown, there was another meeting in Charlotte today, and let me tell you, they wasn't happy with Dabo. There was a lot of people, Bank of America owners, the Charlotte Hornets, the Carolina Panthers, the owners of that, they love to give money to Clemson, because the owner of the Carolina Panthers' daughter goes to Clemson. All right. So he's a real big believer in the program, but he just don't understand why Dabo didn't want to give money when people are offering to give money. So he changed his mind today. Said he's willing to let his players accept NIL.
Weren't they already doing that? I mean, he just wasn't. They didn't have a collective, and he wasn't like
they did. Yeah, they
actively
didn't have that.
So he's going to use the portal. Is he going to use the portal?
He's going to use the portal.
Yeah,
because they made a big statement. It was like he said he was going to retire if he was forced to. So somebody was like, "Well, when is Dabo leaving?" He's not going nowhere. I just think once the big boosters start to pull their muscle and their weight, he had no choice.
Right.
He had no. I mean,
no doubt.
Look, you got to start paying players, man, and you have to start doing the portal. You are falling so far behind. Miami was left for dead last year, and now look at Miami. You even have SMU, a new team coming in. They're doing better than you.
I mean, they haven't finished off this season yet, but I would say that Miami is right on the verge of, winning the conference for the first time. And I mean, that should never happen on Clemson's watch.
No.
And look, the truth is, these guys have lost more games each year since Brent Venables left and since this portal and NIL thing got started. They went from 11, then they went to 10, and then they went to 9 twice, and then they went to 8. They went to 9 last year, right? They didn't get to 8, did they? Or did they get to 8?
Oh, they got to 8 last year.
Okay, so there you go. It's just gotten worse.
8 last year.
Yeah,
that's why they made a big deal about it last year.
I think they went the other day this year, right? They're back to 9. They're going to get to 10 maybe if they win this weekend.
If they win, yeah.
So it was an improvement, but look, he was dragging his damn feet there too. As far as what are we going to do? Is with having Garrett Riley come in, we're going to run the Clemson offense. Why are you running the Clemson offense?
I'm glad you said that. That was brother-in-law told me some stuff and everything. He said that was one of the main things that some of the boosters told Dabo he has. If we're paying that salary, let him call his offense.
Yeah, let him call his
offense. And as you see, what's been happening? They've been scoring a lot of damn points. I don't know why you hire somebody and then you hold them hostage and force them to run something that they have no idea what to run.
We've never liked it.
But
never liked it.
You and I both know Dabo is just that. He's just that one. He wants to be Nick Saban so bad, but he just can't. He wants to run his program like Nick Saban, but he can't. So,
yeah, I get it. You gotta. At some point, you're gonna have to play. You gotta learn to play ball. You gotta learn to play ball. Quit screwing around with it. I don't know why, as Dabo Swinney, why you would decide that you're going to run your freaking program into the ground just because you built it that way. You know what I mean? I don't understand it. Doesn't make sense to me. And look, man, the truth is he knew he was going to have to do this. And look, I love it that it's one thing if you're digging your heels in for a good reason, but I got to tell you, he wasn't.
No.
It's not even a good reason. Now you don't want to pay these guys. Asshole, you make $11 million a year.
Yeah.
And you gotta, and it's for the kids to listen, not even that. If you're not paying these kids, then you're not bringing in good teammates for the guys that you have in the program. Yeah. I know they were already paid NIL money or whatever, but the portal thing, it's blown me away too. They struggled on the offensive line for the last few years too. You got to do it, man. Yeah. No doubt. Well, he kind of did have the power of saving Stink. Welcome to Stink Ass Cut. He kind of. I mean, when you win 2 natties, and they're not. I mean, Clemson's not a powerhouse. They've always been pretty good, but never like that. What they'd won in like the 80s or something like that, maybe early 80s.
One
That
time.
they'd won
It
in
was
Natty.
one,
Yeah,
one time, 1980 or 81.
something like that. I think that's right. Yeah, but I mean, I don't ever remember Clemson being that good.
Clemson is a basketball school. I mean, it's just a basketball school.
Ooh.
Well,
I don't think they were that good at that shit either.
it was a basketball school. Just put you like that. It was a basketball school and everything. So hopefully, man, with him allowing guys to get paid and make it known, and then finally want to go into the portal, maybe it'd be a change there.
Yeah, and 11 million to be mediocre in the ACC is crazy. I agree, Kyle. I agree.
Well, it's going to come out here in the next few days. 6 North Carolina players already saying they're not playing no more since Matt Brown got fired. They're not going to play no more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Or were they that good? Because they haven't been that good this year.
It'll come out down here. They're talking about it around the campuses and everything, but there are some guys and everything decided that they're not going to play, and they're not going to play in the bowl. They're going to opt out, and then they're going to enter the portal. So
if they let me ask y'all. Let me ask y'all a question.
Uh-oh.
Who gives a shit?
Coach, let me ask you a question.
Don't mean the damn thing at this point. So I'm
let me ask you a question, Coach. If they fire you, if your team fires you, but they want you to coach one more game, would you do that? After they came out and
I would have a team meeting. I would have a team meeting, and I would ask my players, what do you guys want me to coach you the last ball game? Or do you want me to move on? And I want y'all to be perfectly honest with me, because this team has always been about you and only you. And if y'all want me to move on, you know what? All you'll see from me is asshole and elbows. If you want me to stay and coach, I'm in. So that's how I think I would handle that.
Well, he's gonna. It says online, and it says that he's going to coach one last game for them.
Cool. Here's the thing about Mac, and I don't know that he was talking about leaving all year, right? They hadn't been good. It looks like it's time for him to probably retire. I'm of the belief that you allow guys like Mac Brown to leave on their own damn terms, because first off, he did so well at Carolina the first time. Then after Texas, he comes back to kind of save the program. You owe that to him to let him kind of go out on his own terms.
Yeah.
That being said, in this era right now where they're paying players and stuff like that, if they think that they got a guy like John Sumrall, who Tulane's coach, I think he's really good. It sounds like he's the leader in the clubhouse at the moment. If not, maybe we've been talking about Dan Mullen as well. I think he's up for that job too. I get it. I get what's going on here, but I'll tell you this. I think they fired Mac, right? Did they not? It was a firing, or it was?
Yes.
I think because last week he said he was coming back. Last week he said he was coming back.
They waited till after he said he was going to come back, and then they fired him the next day.
And I got to tell you guys,
it was a fire.
And I have to tell you guys, to me, there is the problem. Okay, to me, that's a shitty administration.
Yep.
I mean, you need to have that conversation behind closed doors.
Yep.
And say, Mac, what are your thoughts about coming back next year? Well, I'm coming back, Mac says. And then you say, as an administrator, say, well, Mac, we don't want to have you back. So we don't want you to go out there and publicly state that you're coming back.
Yeah.
And so to me,
if you're Mac, right? That's your leverage if you're the
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that ought to be done behind closed doors. Yeah. And give the guy an opportunity to say, you know what, I've thought about it, and it's time for me to to put up the old coaching shoes and let him leave in a respectful and deserving way, and an honorable way, instead of letting him tell everybody I'm coming back and then they fire your ass. I mean, so to me, what I'm saying is shitty administration.
No, you're right.
And maybe that's the case. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we don't know what happened. Maybe there was a conversation that we don't know about as of now.
Right.
But because he could have said, well, no, I want to let everybody know that I want to come back. So you're going to have to fire me.
Well, and if that's the case,
the contract says he can play, that he could coach, that he's, you signed a deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Fire me.
But and if that's the case, I love Mac. I've had a lot of great times with Mac, but at the end of the day, I'm going to say, Mac, if that's the way it came about, you deserve every damn bit of what you're getting.
Right.
I mean,
I don't know. I would tend to agree with what the first thing you said, though, was that knowing how Mac is,
yeah.
I don't. Now I know
don't think
he bucked at Texas because, damn it, he built that at Texas. I don't blame him, and he still felt like he had more to go. I mean, shit, he's been coaching there for another 10 years, hasn't he?
Yeah,
something like that.
Well, look what happened when he left. How a little shit show it was once he left.
Yeah, it was a shit show. Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, for a major program like that, it was terrible.
Until Chris Del Conte got there, it was all a shit show. But
I feel for the players, because I'm like, Coach, if I know he wanted to come back and I didn't want him to come back, I would just say, let's finish the year out.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk about that once the season's over. But don't be making no announcements about coming back next year. Let's not deal with that. And then you put a stipulation in there. If you do, then yes, we will fire your ass. But
immediately.
We rather do it. We would rather you go out on top as everybody know you as Mac Brown, instead of going out as being fired. I'd rather walk away gracefully than get fired.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, you don't.
I can't see no one.
You're not doing the Lincoln Riley shit with Mac. No. And
I can't see. Knowing Mac, I can't see Mac bucking that if they had that conversation with him. I think Mac's a smart enough guy to say, you know what, my days are up, and it's time for me to move on.
It feels like that, but I would say that Mac did change his mind after, like Benji said earlier, the original exit plan was for him to leave in 2009, right? And he blew that up. He did blow that up after losing in the BCS. Now, listen, but I don't necessarily blame him for doing that, because of the fact that had it not been for Colt getting hurt, they win that game. They were winning. I mean, not necessarily that they would have necessarily won it, but they were in good position to do so. Now, Mac turned donors against each other. Sure. Okay.
And I wanted to ask that question to Ben G. Ben G, where'd you get your information?
That's what I'm asking. Is like, it's easy to say that, and I know there's a lot of stories that go around, and don't get me wrong, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but I'm going to tell you this. As much as I hate Texas, as a reporter, I had as much respect for Mac Brown as anybody I've ever been around. Anybody I've ever been around. He never forgot your name. He talked. I mean, look, I'll just let you know, man. I'm a fan of Mac Brown. I'm a fan of Mac Brown. I didn't love him when he was coaching there because they would beat Oklahoma, but the dude was, man, he was a good dude to me. He was always good to me.
I had a lot of kids that played for Mac.
Yeah.
That I coached and so I knew him well. And Mac's a good man. And you also know, if you're talking about Mac, you're going to talk about Mac, you better talk about his wife, Sally, because Sally is a big part of Mac Brown and his successes.
Absolutely. She was awesome lady, man. Awesome lady. Yeah. Kyle sent me a DM. Let me check. Let me see what you're saying there, Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best defenses in college football at getting stops, stop rate, defensive stop rate. I could have looked that up myself too, but yeah, defensive stop rate, which is, let me pull that up. I'll just put it on the screen. People are going to love this one. Oh, right there. There you go. Well,
holy shit.
Yep.
Oh,
it's my boys.
Number one.
Wow.
72% of the time, the Oklahoma's same. I mean, Notre Dame at 0.098 points per drive, 81.6 stop rate. Ohio State right behind them. Texas right behind them. It's just how many times do you get a stop?
But can you really put Army, James Madison, and Sam Houston up there?
See, this is when you start, and I'll say the same thing about Texas again. I mean, you look, when you're playing Kentucky, instead of Oklahoma's getting
shit, everybody,
Tennessee,
everybody.
Instead of Kentucky, we get Tennessee, right? Instead of Florida, we got South Carolina, who's done pretty good. Man, they got a hell of a defense. I still don't buy South Carolina, but that's one of the weaker games. Mizzou, I think they're trash, but they've still only got 3 losses because they gave them a shitty schedule too. But I'll just say, man, I mean, look, and they shouldn't have lost the game. Oklahoma should not have lost the game. That's just all there is to it. But the defense is real, but you've also played in there Tennessee and Ole Miss and Alabama. And Alabama,
14.
holding Alabama to 3 points, that's why it tells me that's an elite defense. Sam Houston, James Madison. I mean, come on, what are they going to do with the big boys?
And guys, this all goes into this takes you back to strength of schedule. I mean, all these things. Now, I will tell you this: I think you could sit down and watch each of those football teams that were on that list. Yeah. You can watch the ball games, and you can tell if they deserve to be on that list or they don't deserve.
I will say this about Texas's defense: it's a damn sight better than I gave it credit for before the year. It's better than that,
right?
But I still I'm of the belief that the best defense in the conference is at Tennessee, and I think that Ole Miss is really close.
Oh no, man!
Ole Miss is good, dude.
Can we break it down like the best line, the best linebackers, the best secondary, and do it like that? Because if that was the case, you give me South Carolina's defensive line
or Tennessee's defensive line. Come on, they're 12 deep on that D line.
Hey, I'm just going by what I'm seeing, man. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, man. I am not a Shane Beamer fan at all. I don't know what the hell he been doing, what he been feeding his players. But man, they've been playing.
He's got a good defensive staff. They're trash on offense still.
Yeah, all they got is sellers. I mean, he's trying to do everything, but
but I mean, well, they've got Coach I's nephew is really good, true freshman. And Nick Harbor's starting to come into it. So, but Sellers can't throw.
No, he's
can't throw or feed the starving birds.
He's a younger Lamar Jackson, if you want to say it, something like that. Very agile.
Can't hit the ball. That's with the bass fiddle, as legend would say.
No, he couldn't throw a ball in the ocean if he was out there in the boat.
Yeah, he couldn't hit water if he fell out of the fucking boat.
But I wanted to ask you guys because I was listening, but I wasn't really listening. Is there ever been another performance? Has it been performance like OU's performance Saturday by any team this year?
Dominant, like against a really good team.
Yeah, against a quality opponent. I'm not gonna say against anybody. Against a quality opponent.
Well, yeah. I mean, look,
because
and the people
amazed,
that are
man.
saying,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
well, Alabama's down. Okay, all right.
Shit.
They controlled their own destiny for the playoff and the SEC championship game at that point, right? They were a 14 and a half point favorite. A lot of people had Jalen Milroe as a Heisman guy all the way through. He was a finalist a year ago. And Ryan Williams, holy shit. I mean, who else has stopped him? They put up, look at all them points they put up on Georgia. Look at all them points they put up on Georgia.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to be misleading. That game I saw, man, was just, shit. We're not used to seeing that here in Oklahoma. That's why it looks so amazing. I mean, because
it was great.
Holding Alabama to 3 points.
I can tell you this. When you hit him in the mouth the way you did with Milroe, first play of the game, stop him, and you see him right before the half, he did run that first down, and what did he do? He got his ass on the ground because they were coming in, they were closing in on him. I've never seen him do that. And we talked about the only way that you were going to be able to shut them down at all was if you kept him in the backfield.
Yeah.
Because he's not that dude that's going to hit 12 to 25 and be on the money, as we saw.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, we've talked a lot about that. Anthony Hill should not be a finalist. Dude, he's not. He basically plays freaking edge rusher. The Butkus Award is a freaking linebacker award. We're not talking about edge guys that are outside linebackers.
Who do you guys got then? If not Stuckman?
Well, they've got the kid at Clemson in there as well, right? I don't know. Is Notre Dame's guy up for that too? Who's the other guy? There was 5 of them. Hold on, let me find them. But just find this. Yeah, so you've got Barrett Carter, who plays at Clemson. Damn it. Really? You just talked about the one guy on this shit? Come on, man. Chris Paul Jr. from Ole Miss. Carson Swessinger from UCLA. He's really good. Jalen Walker from Georgia and Stutz. So, I mean, they're playing for good defenses for sure.
Well,
dude, I'm not thinking of Colin Simmons, bro. I'm not just thinking of Colin Simmons. Anthony Hill basically plays down on the edge all day. You know he does. Come on, guys. Walker's a bad dude, though. Jalen Walker's a bad dude. I wouldn't. Look, I'll say this, and being an Oklahoma guy, I mean, I want to see Stutzman do it, and I've seen him. He's had 20 tackle games this year. He's balled out of his mind. Played awesome, right? I like, and I'll tell you that I think that freaking Ant Hill, by the way, is a bad dude. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not a great player, but I would. And he's had Danny's had over 100 tackles each of the last 3 years. He wasn't even a finalist last year for it, which was wild. Now he got hurt, but that's the thing is he missed a lot of time last year and still had over 100 tackles.
Damn.
He's probably going to finish his career. I don't know exactly where he's going to be as far as. Let me see. I'm actually in that. 46 he's career 46 games, started each of his last 36, totaling 367 career tackles, ranked 9th in Oklahoma history.
Damn.
35 and a half tackles a loss, rank him 7th among Oklahoma inside linebackers. He needs 1.5 to move into the top 4. No, he needs another sack or he needs another tackle for loss, and 1.5 tackles for loss to get into the top 4. So that's insane. 8 career sacks, 3 interceptions, one of which was turned for a touchdown. But the 100 tackle season, it's a big deal, man. And the other thing is that he's directing traffic out there. He's running it. He's the middle linebacker. You know? So anyway. Yeah, Mason's coming. They need to pay his ass though. They're gonna have to pay him. But look, I would not be that surprised. It would not surprise me if Jalen Walker ended up with it. It wouldn't surprise me really if you ended up with like Chris Paul or maybe Barrett Carter. Depends on, I mean, I think Barrett Carter's got an opportunity to make a name for himself this weekend. You know, in that game against South Carolina.
Yeah.
Right. But Swessinger, I think he's got more tackles than everybody. By quite a bit too. He's a stud, man. He's a stud. And isn't he the guy that was supposed to be going to Texas? Benji Swessinger, and then he changed his mind? Was that him? Seems like it was. Anyway,
Coach, is there any fear in your heart against USC?
You know what? I think you always, and you know, Coach, you know what we preach as coaches. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day. Yeah. And so obviously from a coaching perspective, yes. But if we play like we've been playing, they play like they've been playing, it ought to be a bloodletting. But again, it's a rivalry game. And you know how rivalry games go. The
quarterback is better than the first one that they had for sure. But
yeah, but he
might be.
He's not better than the quarterback when they had Caleb Williams, and
definitely not.
We made him look like he was playing junior high football, and so you know, again, just to answer the question is, yeah, I have a little bit of angst, but I think we're gonna kick their asses. And I don't know if Trojan Fight's still on here, but as I was fixing my drink just a little bit ago, I had a flashback Trojan Fight. I think you and I had a bet early on in the season.
Was it him or Fight on Natties? Could have been it could have been him too.
I think it was Trojan Fight.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, I just you know, I'm old enough.
Go back and pull the tape.
Yeah. I'm old and I forget a lot of shit, but that popped into my mind, and so anyway, I just want to remind you of that before we kick y'all's ass.
In the Coliseum, by the way. Yeah, they struggled with UCLA, and UCLA hadn't been good, and it came down to the last play. Of course, that's a rivalry game. Also, it was in the Rose Bowl. Not that the Rose Bowl was full. You know, surprises me that even with that game that they will not fill up the Coliseum this weekend with Notre Dame either.
Well, there'll be a lot more green in there than there will be their ugly ass colors.
We should have gotten USCJ to come on with us tonight, man. I didn't even think about asking him.
You should have. USCJ knows what's coming.
He does.
He's real. I love USCJ, and he's realistic about shit. He knows an ass whooping is coming within a few days.
Well, he's realistic to an extent, but he believes in Lincoln for whatever reason.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, there's times that he doesn't. I think that there's times that he's real with himself, but most of the time he's. How many did the Coliseum? You can put a shit ton in there, but even with them having their tarps and shit up in the certain areas, they're not going to fill up the rest of it. They won't.
Oh, there's my boy Trojan Fight.
There you go.
I stand to gain 200 if Notre Dame loses.
Is that what it was? Was it $200?
And if they win Trojan Fight, what do you stand to lose? $200, $200, $200 gonna make you holla.
How USC fans are there? 7? How many?
Hey, and coach telling you want it all in quarters.
All in quarters.
And when you win, coach telling you want it all in quarters.
Every damn bit of it. I may take pennies.
Be funny.
No.
Be funny stuff. I had a guy that bought me a bunch of ones one time whenever I beat him in a poker game pretty bad, and he owed me like $800, I think, the next morning.
All ones?
He brought them in ones. But the stupid thing was that he didn't take them out of the bundles. So I just took them back to the bank. I was like, all right. So it worked out, but it was pretty funny.
So Trojan fight. How the hell do you figure we break even if Notre Dame wins? I don't think that's that. You're as fucked up as Lincoln Riley.
Notre Dame should win. I'd give them a definite edge if the game was at home.
Figure out how.
What do you? So you didn't have a bet with Coach Roybal? You didn't have a bet with Coach Roybal? We're gonna pull the tape. Yeah, I think it may have been the other one. Fight on Natties might have bigger stones. You know, I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
honest with you.
I tell you what, I'm on for anything you want to bet right now, Trojan fight. How much do you believe in your rubbers?
Hey, I'll get ready to say opportunity.
Oh, you know, it's because you bet 100 on LSU already, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
You bet them that they were losing to LSU. I forgot about that part too. Yeah, maybe so. All right, moving on. Let's go to this last thing that we've been. Well, let me make sure that that's the last thing we're talking about. Damn it. Pull up. Let's talk. Let's finish talking about this deal now. The coaching carousel thing. I don't know. I think John Summerall is a good person for that job. Do you think that they end up allowing him to finish, or what's going on? I mean, I don't know, man. I think that Mac probably should just bow out gracefully and move along. If they don't want you there, it's not going to go well. You know, they're going to pay you at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I get where he's at, but it doesn't look good for Mac if he does that.
What do his players want, though? I mean, that's
true. They want him to play. They want him to coach. They don't want him leaving.
And that's what I think. I think, hell, they wouldn't have a damn football program if they didn't have the players. And I think we need to look at that and say, guys, what do y'all want?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even have to tell Mac. They can, the athletic director can go in and say, look, guys, y'all want Mac coaching or not coaching this last ball game?
Well, the last ball game. Well, he's coaching the last game,
or coaching, or
moving forward is what we're talking about. I don't think you can let the players decide that shit. If you've decided to fire him, because it is a fire. It was a firing. It wasn't a mutual.
True.
Mutual. So I don't know, man. Yeah. And anyway, he's got a buyout. He's got a buyout. And this is not a good way to end 16 years of time being at the school, right? Not a great way for them to end it, though. It sucks that that's the way it's going down. But it sounded like he was going to leave and leave quietly.
Well, I tell you what, whatever happens, I just want to say I'm a Mac Brown fan.
Me too.
I think Mac is an honorable man. And I respect him. I've been around him a lot, and I respect him dearly. And I wish him and Sally all the best. And even he's going to get to go home and eat all them good cookies that Sally cooks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jason, there's two names that they're throwing around here. There's two names, Matt Campbell, and they trying to go for your buddy up there at Penn State, the OC.
Kotelnicki?
Yeah. Those are the two names that they're throwing around here.
ESPN's throwing around Summerall.
Yeah.
And Mullen. But Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That makes sense.
These are the names they're throwing around. Jamie
Shoddy.
Chadwell,
Jamie Chadwell,
Matt Campbell. Yeah, Matt Campbell, Jamie Chadwell, Andy Kolonicki, Alex Golesh from South Florida, and Barry Odom from UNLV.
I tell you what, if I'm worth my salt, I ain't going there. That's just me personally.
Well,
After what you just saw, I wouldn't want to go there.
It feels like Matt could have gotten the Michigan job last year had he really wanted it. I mean, he must really like Iowa State for some fucking reason. I don't get it. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's done great things there because they were shitty. They've always been shitty. But, I mean, I think a lot of Matt. I think a lot of Matt. But, bro, get the fuck out of there already. You know what I mean? But it wouldn't be for North Carolina. It wouldn't be for North Carolina.
It was somebody else that wanted him too real bad, Jason. Trying to think of the name. It wasn't just Michigan. It was somebody really.
Feels like Wisconsin was on him. Michigan State, I know, tried to. I wouldn't have taken the Michigan State job.
Didn't Nebraska want him?
I think so.
I think Nebraska wanted him real bad.
There's definitely no pressure at Iowa State. That's facts. Yeah, that's fair. How elite is OU's defense? Well.
Somebody got my next content up for tomorrow.
Plug it. Let's talk. Well, we just did talk about it. We are talking about it, but let's talk about your next video. How elite is it?
To me, it's top 5 this year. To me, from what I've seen, I've watched a lot of games this year. I've not seen a game like that played between two competing teams. And one team is a 14-point underdog, and the underdog just whooped their ass. And I mean, there is no way around it. I don't like hearing, well, Alabama didn't show up or this. I don't like hearing that shit. They just got dog walked.
Got their ass kicked.
Yeah, that's not.
So,
are you hearing that from a lot of people?
Yeah, yes, Jason. On the East Coast, they're overlooking. They was getting ready for the Iron Bowl and everything. They're looking for Auburn. I'm like, come on, guys, you got boat raced.
Hey, they didn't have any room to look ahead. They were fighting for their fucking lives.
Jalen Milroe wasn't Jalen Milroe last week. I'll just put it to you that way. You could call that. No.
The whole team wasn't dropping passes. I mean, but if we say that, shouldn't we give Oklahoma credit for making them look that way?
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't give a shit what.
Here's the thing. Nobody gives a crap if you lose to somebody. Nobody gives a shit about you losing to somebody. They're going to say what they want to say. I'm going to tell you this. Alabama fans ain't giving Alabama credit for just having a bad day. They're saying they got their ass kicked.
Well, tell me this, guys, and Coach Riggs, as you make the statement, you think they're a top 5 defense. Will you break them down for me? Like pass defense. What do you feel about the pass defense?
Pass defense, I give them a high grade because they have great leadership and great senior leadership at that spot.
The back end now, but Eli looked really good this past week, but they've struggled there at the corners because of Gentry being out and then Woody not really being the guy.
Yeah.
But Eli has turned into that guy.
Eli is a shutdown corner on that side. Yeah. You could put him on the island by himself.
Dude, sticky.
That's bad for a freshman. You ain't got to worry about. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, but overall,
if they were, that's their weakness would be man to man, and they've given up some big plays here and there, right? I mean, but they've averaged only given up like the losses. They're not giving up over 30, except for against Texas, and it was 34. But the rest of them,
Here's the thing, Jason. We talked about it early on in the season. Oklahoma is not a man defense. They are a zone defense team. So when you start if you are a zone defense team and you try to play man to man, you will definitely get exposed because that's not your skill set.
Sure.
So if you are a zone defense, you stay to a zone defense. And if you want to decoy it and put one guy on the island by himself with a cover 2 over top, that's what you should do. When you go man to man, what would you do, coach? I'm going to drag your ass all the way across the field and make you follow me all the way across the field. And that's a long run for you. And you're going to always be in the back pocket because if you go over that wide receiver, he can do a zig and go right back. And now you toast.
Well, if like you said, there's the man concept and there's the zone concept. And you've got to, I mean, there's not very many teams that are good at doing both. Now you mix them in, obviously, like you just said. You can mix them in. You can do some different things back there. But at the end of the day, I agree with you. They're a man or a zone concept, and Notre Dame, we're a man concept. We live and die by man coverage. But again, we throw in some zone. So no, I agree with you 100%, Coach Ricks. Now let me ask this question: if you were going to give the passing defense throughout the season at this point, would you give them a grade of A, B, C, or D, or F?
I would give them a C.
Okay.
I would give them a C. And the reason why I would, I'm sorry, the reason why I would give them a C is because there have been times to where you start looking in the backfield and you get burnt, or there's always that one play that either the call's not getting to you, and then you just try to play a basic defense, and then you get toasted or burnt. We had the one big play against Tennessee. Play didn't get in. He didn't know his coverage. 85-yard touchdown. And that was the only big play that they had. Then you go to Ole Miss. 2 tight ends on one side with a slot. Call didn't get in. Linebacker let the tight end go up the middle of the seam. Nobody picked him up. Touchdown. So they have times where they break down in coverage, but they're not the old OU where they just give up 80, 90-yard plays and everything. So
exactly.
I'd give them a C, maybe a C minus, and that's being generous.
Sure. No, I agree with that. So
I think they got the best front seven though. I mean, they got a great front seven. Oklahoma.
Right.
Dude.
And their safeties are deep. The safety room is deep, and it's getting better as we speak. It's going to be better next year. Even with Billy Bowman leaving that room, they still look. I would say the people that look, Dustin, easy on the trash stuff. Don't be calling guys trash. And Woody had, again, 2 interceptions in the Red River comeback. He's not an every down dude. He's not an every down dude as a corner in the SEC. I will give you that part. But trash is not. It's a pretty damn strong word. Let's not do that. Woody's been big. He's been important. In fact, he was the only dude that could run with any of those guys in the LSU game.
Oh, yeah.
It's just he's different. He's not an every down dude. He's not. This is the difference of what we see, though, with Brent Venables. You want to talk about why they can win in the SEC? Because the floor is higher for these kids that he gets on that side of the ball. It's a big difference, right? Let's be honest. Danny Stutzman wouldn't. They didn't recruit Danny Stutzman at Clemson when he was there.
Coach, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is it easy? I think Brent asked the question today. He answered. I'm gonna ask you as another former coach. Is it easier to call offense or easier to call defense?
Offense.
And I think we talked about that earlier because offense, you already know what you're doing. Defense.
It's reactive.
Is a lot
defense is reactive, man. Right?
It became a big issue today. It became a big issue today. at Brent's conference and everything, where they were saying that it was that
they asked the question. They asked him the same question.
Yeah, and I'm like, common sense tells you offense is always going to be easier to call because you know what you're doing. If I know what I'm doing and you don't,
rule favors the offense.
Offensive pass. I mean, how often does offensive pass interference get called? If it's not a rub or pick,
Right.
how often does it get called? But you'll barely touch him on defense. Flag goes up. So Jason's right.
No,
it's hard playing defense because the advantage is always 24, 9 out of 10 to the offensive player.
Oh, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Real quick, let me finish. I don't want that to end that sentence that I just had the way he didn't get recruited by Clemson, but Coach Venables has said he should have recruited him at Clemson because he's one of the best he's ever seen. Now, they had to come in and they kind of had to challenge Danny, and Danny talks about it. I think he's one of the best. I think he's one of the best linebackers in Sooner history, by the way. I mean, I don't know that I'm ready to put him above Teddy Lehman or some of these other guys, but he's right there. And Danny, he's definitely, to me, the Butkus Award winner. Should be, right? I would just tell you, no, well, I do remember that, but he wasn't being recruited, though, is what I'm getting at, Benji. He wasn't getting recruited by Clemson. Now he said that he thought that would probably it was a mistake, but they have their ways that they're identifying the traits that they want at Clemson, just like they do here at OU. I'm just telling you, if you look at the guys that he's recruited since, they don't really fit the same bill as what Danny's a big guy for a linebacker, man. He's got a lot of speed too. He's going to be very good in the NFL, by the way, folks. He's going to be real good. So I think that I'm glad that he ended up getting to play for BV because he had to challenge him in that first year and say, hey, are you going to be the class clown or are you going to lead this football team? So I was glad. And sometimes you got to do that, right? It's good that you get that right coach because otherwise maybe they don't, if you don't coach them the way you did. I think about Deshaun Sanders and you, coach. He needed you to challenge his ass.
Oh,
he was a great athlete, right?
Yeah.
But he needed you to do that.
I've always been taught if a coach don't coach you well and don't care about you, he don't care about you. Let me rephrase that. If a coach doesn't say anything to you, that's a bad sign.
Mm-hmm.
If coach is always in your ass 24/7, that's a good.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, because if you're not talking to them, that means you already gave up on their ass.
Yeah, Legend Teddy says he's top 5. I say he's top 5. But I understand why.
So let me take you back to another place here, guys. So we gave a grade already, but what about rushing defense? What grade would you give those guys?
A+.
A+.
Well,
it depends on if they're not in
A at least. They're an A at least.
A pro protection, because we've struggled with teams that keep extra guys in.
Even the teams that ran well on us, like Texas, they didn't run well until late when you wore them out.
No, I'm talking about the rush in. You're talking about the rush, right?
He's saying rush defense, like against the running game.
Oh,
against the running game. I'm sorry, Coach. I'm sorry. I didn't ask that very well.
Yeah, they're an A+ to me, or A at worst.
Look, I thought that Saturday would have been the test because regardless of who the coach is, Alabama has always been known to run the football. I don't care from Sean Alexander to right now, Derrick Henry. They've always been known to run the football. Dude, when you have a quarterback that runs 15 times and he has 7 yards rushing, that's bananas.
Exactly.
That's why it's so amazing. I've never seen this. Even with Georgia, I've never seen Alabama get manhandled. They couldn't stop the ends blitzing in. They couldn't do shit. And I mean, I don't know what to say. So no team has been able to rush on them except for if the defense is out there for a long period of time because the offense is making crazy mistakes and turning the ball over. So
Legend don't even have Jalen in his top 5.
Coach,
Damn.
I get that. I didn't.
So what grade did you give him, Coach?
What'd you
on that? I give him an A minus.
Okay.
See what?
Yeah, I got him at least at worst.
Yeah, I give him an A minus.
And I
because they've been consistent all year long, and
that's what. Hey,
there's only one other
freshmen have played on the interior too. Jaden has started every game his true freshman year, and now Stoney's been playing a lot the last month, and they're both killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my last.
Can you check and see who has? Go ahead. I'm listening.
No, go, Coach. No, do it, Coach.
Oh no. I was just going to have Jason to see if he can find out who has the most plays run against him. I guarantee it'd be Oklahoma. We turned the ball over so many damn times.
Oh yeah, no doubt. GA didn't allow a rush
in the SEC
2 full seasons. Okay, and but what have they did? This year they gave up. You think Georgia's got the best rush defense in the country? Is that what you're saying there, Sooner Cowboys? Because I didn't see them.
No,
I would ask Shawty what he thinks.
Yeah, Shorty's in here. He'll give you an honest answer.
He doesn't like their D line.
No, he doesn't. And I still think they're pretty good.
I keep hearing on ESPN. This is what I hate about ESPN, and when we don't give teams their actual due and their respect. Mm-hmm. Even if I wasn't an OU fan, if I would have watched that game, I'm giving them their respect because something that's
they don't have great defense this year though. They're not as good as they have been, and even on the back end, they. I mean, look at. I'll tell you this much: as much as I love Malachi Starks, but bro, we saw what Ryan Williams. He boogered him up. He made him look bad. Rush defense. Indiana's number 1. They've played a shit schedule. Ohio State, Michigan, Tennessee's up there. They're right there with it. Texas is just now. South Carolina and Texas are just ahead of OU, but they're all. I mean, we've got a bunch of SEC teams in the top 15. Oklahoma's at 15th.
I figured you would.
But here's the thing, and here's the other deal. They were at what they were at over like 115 or somewhere in that area for a lot of the year because of what happened against Texas.
Stats that were like just
and I mean it was, but here's the thing, and they had, and look, I mean you can't say anything bad about what the Texas running backs, they got off late in the game. They were good though. I mean, I like their running backs. I like them. Tashard's doing his job. But they're giving up an average of 2.85 per rush, which is better than a lot of the rest of these guys. Like Texas is giving up 3 yards a rush. Tennessee's giving up 278. I mean, even South Carolina's 2.94. So they're giving up less yards per rushing attempt, which tells you that they're getting more plays run because of the fact that, the offense hasn't stayed on the field enough to be able to keep them from it. They're facing a lot more drives than what they should be, which is why I would tell you that if they're not elite in the stats part of it, they're in certain stat parts of it. You got to look at why is that? Now I'll tell you that's still top 15 rush defense. Let's run through these things here real quick. What's the next question?
How far apart is 1 to 10? Is it?
No, it's not much.
Point something.
Yeah, watch. So the yards per game. No, Indiana gives up 76 yards per game. I mean, again, they haven't played nobody. Ole Miss is 11 more points a game behind them at number 2, and then Ohio State at number 3. There's 3 points difference there. Michigan to Ohio State is 90 to 94 yards per game. SMU at 95.9. Tennessee at 98.8. Penn State at 99.3, UCLA at 99.3, UTSA and Army. I mean, they're all now when you start getting into, they're within a yard of each other, or I mean, a yard of each other. From 9 to 15, they're all right there.
But again, let's look at again. Sorry, guys, but what I said earlier, this all equates into strength of schedule too. I mean, hell, you can be playing Houston Junior High School against these guys, and hell, that figures into your statistics.
Right, I'm talking. If we're talking Power 5 teams. I mean, even Indiana. Right. I mean, even though they're in the Big Ten, they've only played really one of the good the good Big Ten teams. They played one. I guess you could call Matt Rule in Nebraska up, and they're decent, but they. Right. It didn't look good against Ohio State, and they ran the shit out of the ball again on Ohio State.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I tell you another
defense. I don't know.
I tell you another huge. If you're going to talk statistics, to me, this one talks louder than any other statistics as far as defensively, and that's scoring defense.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll just add this. I will say this: Alabama had 60 rushing yards on Oklahoma the other night.
But how many times did they rush? Huge. How many times did they run the ball?
Oh, it was quite a bit.
30. What did they run 30 times for 60 yards?
I mean, they were trying to run the ball. They couldn't throw it. So you're saying total or scoring defense is what you want, Coach? Yeah. Right,
scoring defense. That tells me a lot more about a team.
Yep. Sure.
From the perspective of Oklahoma, you know what, you may give up a lot of yards from 20 to the end, but you don't give up points.
There you go.
Right. They give up 20.18 per game. That's number 23 in the country.
Okay.
There's a lot of those the Bowling Greens, James Madisons, NIUs of the world in there as well. Army. How much did Army give up on you guys?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So,
well, just like Florida. Florida just ran for 175 yards against Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Just last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So they were running through like shit through the goose.
Hell.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, giving up. And I mean, look, that's top. It's top 25. That's good. Again, I would wonder how would that really be if you had an offense that could stay on the field a little more, put some points on the board for you. That because I think that there was times that they had breakdowns because they felt like they had to try to make something happen this year, right? So,
if you had any offense, you beat Tennessee. If you had any offense.
Hey, Jason, defense,
go ahead, Coach.
I'm sorry, Coach Riggs.
No.
I was just curious. Did you have when you were looking at stats? Do you have scoring defense, or can you find it?
No, I'm on it right now. They're number 23 in the country. They're number 23 in the country at 20.18 points per game. That's like what?
That's not bad, guys.
No, it's really
you win a lot of ball games with that.
Yeah, that's really good.
Also, with the schedule that you had.
And the schedule, exactly.
No,
again,
you went up against really good scoring offenses.
Yes. Tennessee was number 1 when they went up against them.
And what have I said after each one of these questions that I asked?
I want to look at
we talk about it.
Yeah,
and we talk about and we talk about it. All goes back to strength of schedule as well.
Yeah. Yes.
So the number 4 scoring offense in the country is Tulane. We held them well under their average. They're averaging over 40 a game. We held them to like 15 or 10, something like that. I don't remember what the final score was.
It was 9.
Yeah, 9. Okay.
10 or 9.
So, Ole Miss, they're averaging 38. Oklahoma held them to 26, 20, 25, 26, 26 to 16, wasn't it? Or 24 to 14, something like that.
Yeah, something like
we'll look at it again. But again, under their average. Tennessee averages 37.4. They held them to 25. Texas, they're at 36.5. They held them, 34, but they held them to like 13 total yards in the first quarter. They had way too many damn possessions. They just had way too many damn possessions. So, that was that. Look, this is where you start realizing that Alabama, number 17, averaging 36.2 points per game. They held them to 3 points.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, defensively, you guys have made huge strides.
It's a different deal now.
Yes.
Period.
Well, and I tell you what, let's be honest, guys. If Oklahoma's offense was clicking like Oklahoma football has offensively produced over the years, this could have been a huge year for you guys. Now, obviously, there's some transition. There's some transition going on there. But again, like I said early on in this show tonight, is that OU football will be back.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll put it. This is from the Pick Six previews. I don't know who these guys are necessarily, but they're ranking all the offenses in the country. They've got Ohio State, Texas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Notre Dame is where they go. And I think that I would say that if I was going to put anybody in front, it would be Notre Dame over Texas for sure. But I like Texas's defense. I definitely think that they're legit. Again, they haven't played a lot of the best scoring offenses in the country, but I do think that they're still pretty damn good. Yeah.
Neither have we.
Because I touched OU's end zone more than Bama ever did on Saturday. part of the crew rushing the field.
That's funnier than shit right there.
Yeah. South Carolina, though, Penn State. Ohio State being their number one, but then you go, it's Texas, Tennessee, Oklahoma. They're showing Notre Dame. Now, this is I don't know what their rankings go by, how they rank them. It just depends. But like I said earlier, you were showing that stop rate. Notre Dame's number one. Again, go by what you want to. They're doing what they're supposed to do. I like the physicality that Notre Dame plays with. That's why I think they have a chance to win the whole thing. I'm not saying they are going to win the whole thing. I'm saying they got a shot because they're physical. They can run the football. They're going to play good defense. You got a tough out with Notre Dame no matter who you are. No matter who you are. So, anyway.
That's been a long time coming, brother.
Brother, it has been a while since you could even really say that with a straight face, to be real. I thought last year, though, that you were kind of right there, but you didn't get the quarterback play you needed, and the receivers didn't really step up either.
Well, our offense, again, it goes back to our offense, and it goes all the way up to shitty coordination.
He was trash, dude. So, they fired his ass at West Virginia for being shitty.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But okay, so let's say, and what other question you got? Let's see. I just did total. Well, total defense. I think they're in the top. It's about the same. Let me see where they're at. Total defense.
What about
15 in the country? That's yardage per game, giving up about 300 a game. The number one defense in total is 241. That's Ohio State. Texas is at 247. So,
okay.
That's still right up there. 311. I don't know.
Is Notre Dame anywhere in there?
Oh, yeah, number 4. 273. Okay. Number 4.
Okay.
And they're behind Indiana, who, again, has played one decent team.
Here's another one I think of, Jason, just off the top of my head, but another big stat to me was always third down defense. Do they have anything on third down defense?
Yeah, this is the NCAA site. Percentages, it's like the conversion percentage. Notre Dame's at number 8 in the country. Oklahoma comes in. They're not as good on third down. It doesn't seem like they've getting on. They're number 49. It's like they give up. This is a tough one right here because so Notre Dame's at number 8, giving up 0.297%, right at 30% of third downs they give up. Right. Oklahoma at number 49 is at 0.36.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean that's way down the list. So I mean, 25%. NIU's number 1 in third down defense.
Damn, do I know that one?
Utah's number 2, Wyoming, Tulane, Tennessee's the first big time program that would be they're at number 5, and then Mizzou, UTSA. I mean, really, it's a lot of those teams that are playing in the MAC or something like that. You know.
You know what's funny about that though, Jason? You said NIU's leading it, and we didn't convert third downs against their ass.
That's probably why they.
It's why we got beat. Yeah,
it's probably why they lead the shit.
Wow.
Passing yards allowed. I bet Oklahoma is not as great here. They're not. They are 48th in the country. They're giving up 205.8. They only gave up 160 something to Jalen Milroe. And man, they were throwing up some Hail Marys at that kid. Ryan Williams is a bad dude. 17 freaking years old. Gonna be a first round pick before he's 20.
Wow.
Fucking insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So pass defense, they're a little further down the list. But again, I think that they've definitely given up a couple of big plays here and there. Losing Gentry hurt them. But I think it also helped them because you've got guys that have had to step in, like Eli Bowen being a true freshman. You kind of got to step in and be that guy. And they didn't allow him to do that right away, right? Traylor can coach defense. He should have already had a big-time job, Jenna. He already should have.
Yeah. Shit, yeah.
He should be at Okie Light coaching if Okie Light gave a shit about winning.
They don't care about winning. They want
Okie Light.
They're going to be 0-9 in the Big 12.
Them some bitches can't even spell win. They can't even spell win.
If you give them 2 letters.
Hey, all that smoke and mirror shit, coach, is no longer. When you could blame it on Oklahoma and Texas and all that other bullshit. Now I can't recruit.
Do that shit now.
Now what? Now what you got? Now he's blaming fans. Now he's blaming.
Hey, what's happened to our buddy? Does he even podcast anymore?
Yeah. Cody Light.
What was his? Cody Light. Where the hell is Cody Light? Why don't you bring that motherfucker on here? I want to talk to him. I love Cody Light. I love that sucker, but you know what? I want to talk to him.
I've been trying to get his ass to come on a couple times. Actually, let me just send him a damn text.
Sooner Cowboy. That'll never happen.
What is Sooner Cowboy saying?
Tell him Coach Roy Ball wants to talk to him.
Who do they want to play? And they said they want to play USC. Milshu will boycott that damn game. He will not play Oklahoma.
No, I don't think he will either.
Oh God, I would love that. Woo. I'd even.
But you know what?
I got to say this: Cody is calling for Gundy's head, and he's one of few.
Well, but I'm gonna tell you what. He wasn't calling for Cody's head earlier.
No,
or Cody Light wasn't calling for his head earlier. He was talking a whole lot of shit.
Man, he was at the beginning of the season.
Hey, I'm not picking up for his ass. You guys know better than that.
Hell, I want to hear what he's got to say now.
That's embarrassing. You didn't win not one damn Big 12 game. One.
They got Colorado this week. They got Colorado on the road. They're going to lose that one too.
Oh hell yeah! You can put the point.
It was OSU was going to take over the conference. We some bad mofos.
They're going to win 4 Big 12s by 2030 is what he said, at least.
Well, I mean,
4 Big 12s by 2030. I was like, are you fucking insane? You've won 1, and I mean, he's won 1 in 20 years, and you really think? Yeah, right. Come on, bro.
We need to keep him as a friend because that some gun is smoking some good shit. We need to figure out what he's got.
Ollie Gordon wouldn't be bad. Ollie Gordon wouldn't be bad.
He's going pro. He gone.
Yeah, he can go. He can go
Yeah,
now.
he
I don't
gone.
really care if they get him or not. Anyway, I wouldn't
really want him
guys,
anyway, man.
him off.
You know what has Ollie done?
I mean, shit.
Shit.
But they also haven't given him the ball this year again. He went back to the same shit he did before that. Remember when they lost those? They lost 3 games early. They just lost to Iowa State and fucking Alabama State or whatever it was. I think it was Alabama State.
Do you know why, Jason?
Yeah, because they weren't giving him the fuck football, and Gundy was on the ranch.
When you down points, you gotta try to throw the ball. If you can't run that money, you gotta try to throw it.
As soon as they started running the damn football, they didn't lose anymore hardly.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I think he's been back on the ranch with old Bessie. That's what he says anyway. He missed his availability because he said he got headbutted by his cow.
No,
maybe he got
kicked. He shouldn't be trying to put it in the cow and he wouldn't get headbutted.
Don't do that, Fudge, man. Come on, coach.
No, I'm not talking about what you're thinking.
Yeah, we don't need.
I'm an old country boy.
Yeah.
I'm an old country boy.
Hey,
Okay.
I jumped in here to help you guys out, man. I got to get off. My grandbaby, she wants me to read her a story.
Get over there and read her story.
Hey, man, you know what?
Thing in the world, brother.
You know what, Coach? I ain't gonna lie to you. Since I retired, that is the best thing I have going. Is I get to read her a story whenever she wants me to.
Amen, brother. You know what, Coach? You know what I was doing before I came on here? I was in the hot tub with my grandson talking football.
Hey, there you go. She we had a first clinic 2 weeks ago. My granddaughter she's her first clinic, 5 years old, first clinic.
Oh, so that's awesome, Coach.
I'm getting those skills down.
Hey, that's what you know what I'll tell you this and then I'll let you go. But we were in the living room talking one night, my daughter and my son and my grandson and my wife, and I told my kids, I said, now you guys know I love y'all, right? And they're like, oh yeah, Dad, we know that. I said, but I need to tell y'all, I love my grandson more.
Better.
And they were like, Dad, are you? No, Dad. Hey, it's just the way it is, man.
Way cooler than the kids, man. My grandkids are way cooler than the kids too.
Hey, that's where I was at. My 2 girls are here for the holidays, and they're like, Dad, I need the cord. And I'm like, what the hell am I? A damn phone cord? I said, y'all come here with no damn phone charges.
I love it.
You bring the babies. You bring the babies.
Yes. Yeah. And then, so, but anyway, man. Hey,
that's the best stuff ever.
You can catch me, guys, Monday. I'm gonna start doing the Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, man. Coaches Talk, Coach Ricks at YouTube or any other outlet, Twitter, Instagram, at Coach Ricks. So you guys have a wonderful, man, Thanksgiving, man. Hopefully I'll get back on here before you do your little preview of the game.
Yeah, we can do it Friday or something morning if you want to. We can jump on Friday morning.
I'm on vacation until Monday, so I'm here.
Okay, bro.
I ain't going nowhere. I might be drunk though. But
no, that's all right. We may in fact, and I was talking to Marcus Dent yesterday, and we may get Marcus Dupree back on here as well. So, Coach, did you see that last week when we had Marcus Dupree on?
Man, I saw that, man. I saw that. And Jason, just for you, Jason, tomorrow I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna call you. Keontae's gonna be here tomorrow.
Hey, that's cool, man. That's cool.
He'll be here. He's spending the Thanksgiving with us. They had a game tonight in Greensboro and everything, so they won that game. So he will be here to celebrate Thanksgiving with us, my family. So when he does, I'm gonna call you. You can talk to him, man.
That'll work, bro. Sounds good.
Good stuff, brother.
Good. Thanks for coming in, Coach.
Oh yeah, man.
My favorite.
Hey, love you, Coach.
And jump on with. We'll be there in the morning. We're hanging out with him. We'll be back here as well. If you want to just jump on with us tomorrow,
I will.
Well, we're gonna
Coach
do a quick
Rollball, man. I want to tell you something.
I've got to get in early tomorrow, so we're gonna do a quick show tomorrow.
I want to give a shout out to Coach right quick, man. I said something that you said to a parent, and man, the outcome was out of this world, man. So I want to commend you for what you told me. A lot of people, man, they think they're too old, that they can't take other criticism. They can't take, I'm a sponge. So whatever someone's saying, I'm just going to absorb it. So, man, I appreciate what you said, man, because it really did hit home with that child, man. So we were talking about, we don't know what's going on at home with some of these kids, and we can't expect for them to just get it. So we got this young kid, got this one kid in the right direction now, social services and everything, man. So I commend you for saying that, man. So we on the real,
you know what, Coach? You know what, Coach? You know this as well as I do. We learn from each other, no matter what stage in our life we're in. We've always got things that we can learn from each other, and I've learned things from you on this podcast already, and I appreciate you as well, and we have that. There's always that coach's bond as well. If you hadn't been down that road, it's hard to understand it. And but no, I love you, man, and keep.
I appreciate, man.
Keep
love
doing
you too
what
as well,
you're doing.
man.
Enjoy those grandkids and have a great Thanksgiving. Love you, brother.
I'm gonna have a bunch of them here, so I'm gonna be.
Hey, man, you're gonna have to go around and take some video of this. There's got to be some funny moments happen. I bet you, or anything.
Well, I'm thinking about, and just a thought process. I'm thinking about going live and just having everybody on my show.
A gang of them in there. That'll be fun.
Yeah, because,
for about 10 minutes, and you'll be like, all right, that's enough.
Well, all my nephews, they play college ball somewhere, basketball. Some's overseas, some coaching. So I got my daughters here, and then Keontae's here, and then I got so much stuff here, man. So I'm blessed, man.
I don't want to miss that show. I don't want to miss that.
No, man, he knows Jason. He knows Jason.
Wow.
He's heard your name before. He said, I want to come on because I want to see if it's who I think it is.
Where did he play? Where did he play?
Thunder.
I know he played with the Thunder. Yeah, but I've never covered the Thunder or anything like that.
Yeah. He said that he knows your name. He said, I want to see if this is.
Where did he play college ball is what I'm asking.
Florida.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember him from there. But I wasn't really covering. I mean, he's young. He's still a young cat.
24.
Dude's a baller, man. I like Keontae, man.
Tonight he went crazy. He went off tonight.
He's a good player, man. He's been real good.
And you say he plays for the Thunder? He played for the Thunder.
He's at the Charlotte Hornets now. He got traded to the Hornets.
Yeah.
So he probably knows one of the kids that played here at the junior college when I was in charge of athletics out here.
Who was it?
So,
who was that?
God dang.
He's with the Hornets now?
No, he was with the Thunder. With the Thunder.
Oh.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, he knows my nephews that's coming down. They all play AAU ball together. My nephew, he's 27, so they've all played AAU ball together, traveling ball and everything. So he knows them. So tomorrow they're gonna reconnect.
Oh, wow.
And Friday I got the gym for 2 hours, so we're all gonna go ball.
Woo!
Oh, that's awesome, Coach.
I told him my knees gonna be kind of buckling, but the jump is still wet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in that corner. I'm just gonna wait till the ball come to me. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Coach, I love it.
But I ain't running with them. Ain't no way.
Oh, hell no. My wife said, baby, hang it up, baby. They 27, 24.
That's when you blow out a knee and shit.
I can't get hurt,
the kid that was out at the junior college when I was out there that's with the Thunder is Kenrich Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is who that is. Yeah, he left here at the junior college, went to TCU.
Didn't they play for the national championship that year?
Yes.
That's right.
Trying to remember. It was either the semis or but we were pretty damn good. We had we had Chris Boucher and Kenrich, and we were supposed to have him one more year, and they left because if they would have had him one more year, we would have won a title easily. Boucher, when he ended up, I can't remember what NBA team he was on, but we were pretty damn good.
Yeah.
A lot of fun times, brothers.
Yeah, I saw that you did that. You had the camp and stuff, didn't you? Or you had them all out there at the gym? Yeah, dude.
He came out there, man, and he was very gracious, man. There were 85 kids there. He took a picture with every kid and their parent. No questions asked. No,
that's class, man.
And I told him, but he has a great way, and I told him that I'm going to tell people on my podcast. He has a great way of doing it. He says the way you get him is you donate to his foundation. Once you do that, you got him.
Yeah.
Ain't no money, ain't nothing. You donate to his foundation, and then you got him.
Wow. That's awesome. I love it.
Great kid, man. Great young man, man. Like I said,
shout out to him. And what is his foundation? We'll throw it out there. Get it for me for tomorrow or something. We'll have you back on.
It is the Key Heart Foundation. The Key to My Heart Foundation is what it is.
There you go.
Key to My Heart.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Man. Great young man, man. Like I said, I think the world of, man. Like I said, man. Great man. Like I said, but when he comes here tomorrow or Thursday, I'll get on here and I'll let you meet him.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Well, thanks a lot for coming on. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here as well.
Hey, Jason, I just want to mention this. The other kid I was telling you about is Chris Boucher.
Yeah,
he plays for the Raptors.
You say I know who he is too. I just didn't know where he played, but I know the name.
Yeah, he went to the Raptors. He was a kid that came out of Canada to the junior college.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's there.
Well, you know, my cousin's there now, Tyler Perry. He's there now.
Yeah.
He's out of Kansas State. He's from Port Coffee, Oklahoma, where I'm from. That's my cousin. He's at Toronto right now playing basketball.
I'll be darned. It's a small world, isn't it, man?
Hey, man. Like I said, man, God put people in places for the right reason.
To get to the NBA is like, that's tough right there. I mean, less guys make it to the league and stick than pretty much any of the rest of them.
Not to toot my own horn. I play a lot of 40 and older basketball with a lot of guys down here on the East Coast. Vernon Maxwell, Muggsy Bogues. You know, a lot of those guys have their over 40 basketball league. And man, I can play with those guys, man, and I help my own, but they're on another level.
They
have another gear.
I played with a couple of guys that in the military. I played with a couple of guys that, you know, they played a little semi-pro here and there and like big time college basketball, and it was like I was a pretty good player in high school. I didn't want shit compared to these cats. I was like,
well, when I was in the Army,
you run into a real deal athlete is a different deal, man. You know.
Yeah. Well, when I was in the Army, me and two other guys, we were on the all-Army basketball team, and I live in the same city as him right now. That same guy.
Yeah.
And we still play ball together. So as like I said,
crazy.
Small world. Yeah.
It is. It is.
That's good stuff.
But anyway, guys, you guys have a wonderful one, man. And like I said, have a wonderful holiday, man. Enjoy your family, man. And like I said, Jason, I'll be on in the morning or Friday, whenever you go on.
I'll throw it out there to you and Legend. We'll see who we end up with tomorrow on it, but we'll be back here in the morning. Thanks for coming in, man, for sure. And we always enjoy having you on.
Coaching Jason.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one, man.
All right, man. Love you, man. Talk to you later.
Later. Okay. Bye-bye.
Well, Coach Ricks, as always, we enjoy having him on, man. This is one of my favorite people, man. One of my favorite people for sure, man. Coach, we anything else we need to chat about before we get out of here? It feels like I'm good here. But we talked about pretty much everything. What else? I know you missed a couple. I mean, you ready for this?
I got one thing. Trojan fight. We're coming after your ass.
Well, sounds like, you got to go. You got to keep it even. They better beat that ass. They need to win that game. They need to win that game anyway. They can't lose that game. We need to win that game.
No, we can't. Well, I mean, we cannot lose that game.
The one thing I would say about like the problem with SC this year, it's not the defense. They're pretty good. The offense is, and they're a little. I like Maiava. I think that he's pretty good, but I don't know where they are as far as. I still don't think. I didn't sound like that Lincoln's really holding things together, but they have been picking up some recruits the last couple of weeks. I don't know where it's headed, but I don't know. They're gonna have to start playing the game.
I haven't been impressed with their O-line.
No, their O-line's trash, man. Their O-line's not good. And that's going to hurt them against Notre Dame. That's going to hurt them.
I can tell you this. He better get ready because the heat's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to come every damn down.
That defensive front is as good as anybody in the country.
So
I like that. Man, I'm telling you, I told you earlier a couple of weeks ago, I said I'm riding with Notre Dame. I feel like
You did.
I think they can run, and I think they can beat anybody. I do think they can beat anybody. I don't know that they will, but I think that they could.
I'm with you.
I think that defensively, they're as good as anyone. Offensively, if they can keep running the ball like they have been, they're going to be a tough out for anybody. And I really do think that there's a lot of teams that could win this thing.
Yeah, there's a lot. I agree.
don't think there's anybody that's unbeatable.
It's wide open. It really is. For the first time in a long, long time, it's wide open.
Yeah, there's people that are talking about there's like 4 teams. I was like, are you high? Every team at the top could lose. Every one of them.
Absolutely.
Oregon, I mean, they got away from Ohio State. They hadn't played. I mean, who else? I will tell you this. What I like about Oregon, that defense is nasty too. Mateo Uiagalelei, by the way, and shout out to Big Dave and Mateo and those guys.
Yeah.
Mateo is lighting it up.
Yeah.
Lighting it up.
He sure is.
Leading the Big Ten in sacks, I think. He had that interception at the end of the Wisconsin game last week. I mean, dude, yeah. Mateo is that guy. Shout out to him, man. And shout out to Big Dave. Shout out to everybody who has come in here. And yeah, they are bowl eligible. Yes, they are. Stink ass cat. Shout out to everybody who's in the audience with us tonight. We appreciate you guys. I'll be back here in the morning for Rise and Shine College Football. Appreciate everybody coming in. I hope everybody has a great. If I don't see you guys before then, we will be back on in the morning. But if I don't see you back on here, maybe some of you guys don't make it in. I want to just tell everybody happy holidays. Enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family. Be safe out there. We're thinking about you, praying for everybody. And yeah, Coach.
Same from here. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And hopefully all of you get to have some good turkey and some bull nuts.
Some bull nuts. I'm gonna make some masala, man. That's what I'm gonna do. So some red chili. I'm gonna get some red chili. All right, guys.
You staying in town, Jason, or?
Yeah. I gotta go get my mom tomorrow evening, so we'll be here in town. Yeah.
Okay.
So
good.
we'll probably get together or something, Coach. But we'll talk at you guys. Everybody, thanks a lot again for coming in. If you hadn't hit that like button, please make sure you do that. Our subscribers have just kind of leveled off since we hit that 4,000. It'd be great to kind of bump that up. Share us with your friends if you enjoy the show. Share us with other people that enjoy college football talk. This is the last weekend of the regular season. We'll get it more into LSU and Oklahoma tomorrow morning and what's kind of moving forward with that. But exciting week for all of us.
I may have to jump in on that LSU shit.
Come on in if you want, man.
I may do it.
Come on. All right, man. Love you guys. Love everybody. Hey, Legend, appreciate you, Bob. Hey, Stink Ass Cat, Ben G, boys, Jenna James. Obviously, let's see. We had Legend, Stink, Mars Jams, our boy Mars Jams. Let's see. Who else do we have? Bunch of people. Obviously, Bishop Frank in here as always. Adela was in here earlier today. Thank you, Adela. Dustin West, thanks for coming in. We had Neilio earlier as well. Let's see. Shoddy was in here earlier. That's right. Just my damn opinion. Shoddy, adjust the hat.
That gum, Shoddy. Where the hell did you go? I wanted to invite you to watch our boring football game this coming weekend.
Trojan Fight. Yeah, man, we've had a bunch of folks in here. Jesse Browning, thank you for coming in. Yeah, guys. If I'm Dupuis, of course, Appreciate all
Hey,
you
who's Bob? I haven't seen this one before, maybe, or I missed it. Bob F114.
Yeah, Bob F114. I think I said his name a minute ago, but I don't think I've seen him before. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Sometimes people change their names. I don't know.
Yeah, that one was a new one on me.
Kyle's one of our regulars. Of course, Mars Jams.
Justin West.
Justin West. He's a new one, newish. I think. I think he's been in a few times. Chicken was in here. I saw Chicken.
Yeah, I saw Chicken too.
Justin West. Let's see who else we got. Damn it.
And I like Stephen G, even though
Stephen G and Steve B. Hey, they're our crew. This is our crew, man. This is our guys. I appreciate them all. Ryman Lemon, of course. Legend.
Jimmy Satterfield.
Jimmy Satterfield's always in here with us as well.
Yeah.
Appreciate all you guys for coming in, guys. If I missed your name, I apologize, but we love you all. Thank you all for coming in and checking us out. Make sure you have a wonderful holiday, and we will see you all on the next one.